Hello. Oh, how we doing? Anyone else just having one of those weeks? One of them weeks. My god, I've had such a nightmare of a week. Oh, but now I get to have fun on my favorite spec. Oh, it's just all gone wrong, eh? So the other day, my PC decided to kill itself. That was fun. Um, so essentially, it just shut itself off. Every time. So like, I tried to stream the other day. I loaded up my PC or the stream, and within like 2 minutes, it crashed. I mean, I'm fingers crossed right now that it doesn't happen again. I have made some changes. On top of that, my car crashed as well. Not like okay, no, wait, hold up. I didn't crash my car, but essentially the same thing happened where I was driving my car, and then it just powered off. You ever get that when your car just powers off whilst you're driving? Yeah, me too. So my PC balked, my car balked. Um, but we've got the car fixed. It no longer balks itself, so that's good. And fingers crossed we've saved the PC. I mean, it was only a couple days ago it started, and I've essentially replaced some parts. We went with the GPU and the PSU, so we can call it an upgrade. Actually, we upgraded our PC. That's a better way of looking at it, right? Didn't upgrade my car. That's still, well, I mean, it no longer powers off. That's kind of cool, right? Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. But yeah, so I've basically just been setting up my entire PC. I was meant to start at like 2 today, but then I realized that because I also went to Windows 11. Ew, disgusting. I've been on Windows 10. I mean, I had to do it eventually, right? So I was like, well, I've done this whole reset anyway. Might as well just upgrade to Windows 11 whilst I'm at it. Um, Lo and behold, though, Windows 11 didn't update my microphone and stuff. So like, it was basically as if my microphone didn't exist. So I had to. So I was literally starting the stream, and I looked at my OBS, and it was like microphone not detected. I was like, 2 thumbs up, thank you. That's cool. I like that. Spoiler alert, I don't like that. But it all seems stable now. I haven't crashed yet. That's kind of good. So yeah, let's kick off the stream. Basically, yeah, you will, because I suffered. You will have to listen to me rant about my suffering. That's how the rules work. Yeah, alright, so let's talk about the stealth nerf. It's why you probably pressed on this video, if you're not a, you know, if you ain't someone that watches all the time. We can talk about Mystic Touch first. Oh, fucking what are they doing? Um, so, yeah, I don't know. They reverted Mystic Touch, from 8% to 5%, which is just, okay. Fine, I guess. Why not? I just love their developers note for this. We hear the community concerns. The community, the Reddits. Basically, TLDR, Reddit didn't like this or some shit, so they just reverted it. We hear the community concerns about this change and how it might affect the viability of physical damage dealers. What, by like making them decent and M plus? Ah, shit, we can't we can't have that, can we? Because of the concerns that people might actually play physical damage teams, we've reverted this. 2 thumbs up, thanks Blizzard. like, it just makes no sense to me. Like, I didn't really care for this change either way. Like, it's only like minute. I'm pretty sure, like, I was reading that the 8% was about equal to the Demon Hunter's like 3% because they got nerfed, right? So it's basically like on even grounds with the Demon Hunter probably still being better because more classes do magic damage than do physical. I don't know. Someone basically cried and was like, "No, no, bad." No, I want Demon Hunter. I want Mage. I want Boomy again. Okay. Um, if anything, right, this is actually in like a silver lining sort of way. This probably increased the viability of people taking Mistweavers for M plus. Like this wouldn't have increased the likelihood of taking a Windwalker, right? You would have taken a Mistweaver, so I don't think it's that bad. I just think it's hilarious the developers note for this, where it's basically just people cried, and so we reverted it because people don't want physical damage comps or some shit. I don't know, it makes no sense. But alright, whatever. Um, they saw the Zorthath video. Oh, I haven't seen that. But I can imagine some people weren't too happy about it. I'm sure they have like valid reasons and stuff. I just think it's funny how it's basically we reverted it because of community concerns when it really, I don't think it was that bad. Honestly, it just made physical comp a little bit like more viable. People would actually probably try it out a bit more. Oh well. So, oh well. The Moonkins were upset. Yeah, Tetl's probably in shambles. Nerfing the raid buff also just nerfs monk's damage, which already wasn't great. Yeah, I mean, it nerfs us as well. I mean, there were only like a few specs that would actually really benefit from this, and they're like mostly outlier specs as well. One being Warrior, Keck, playing damage-dealing Warrior in 2025. I mean, you're not seeing they just got nerfed again. Where's that? I don't think it could be worse for them, but oh no, they got buffed. I was told this was a nerf. Ah, these warriors are chatting shit. They've been buffed. What are they talking about? Fucking crying about being nerfed. At least they get mentioned in the patch notes. We don't even get mentioned. I haven't seen Windwalker mentioned since day one. But it's funny, we've been changed every single time, which is kind of cool, right? And that's kind of what I mean by stealth change. They've put stealth changes out for us because they just will not, they don't mention it, and it's all to do with our tier set, and it's as if they don't know what they're doing with us, which is worrying. Because it's a little bit different when like you change the damage values of a tier set, right? So you make it so like for instance, like boomies and stuff, they got their damage nerfed, or frost DKs, they got that damage nerfed. That just means like they're happy with how their sets work and stuff like that, and how they like synergize. But they aren't too happy with the numbers, or maybe they want to increase the numbers of something. For instance, with us, it's nothing to do with. I don't think they haven't changed any numbers. They are changing like how our tier sets work every single time, but they don't mention it. And that's what I mean by stealth change. So we can start with Shadowpan because there has been no change there. The annoying thing about Shadowpan is that I don't know what they're doing with it. And I don't think anyone knows what they're doing with it, because they have this one. It's crazy, right? Because they have how they've changed it from how it initially was in like the game. So in the tier set, it used to say Flurry Strikes deals, I think it was 30% damage and 100% effectiveness and every 120 energy spent. And that was fine, and that's how everyone played it. However, then like 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, they changed how it is in game on the PTR. They changed the wording, so now it says Flurry Strikes deals 20% more damage. Let's change to this. Look, I've got a cat now. That's kind of cool, right? You can also see what buttons I press. That's kind of neat. Anyway, moving on. But the issue is this hasn't actually been implemented in the game, and so it's like, how are we meant to know what we're going to go forward with? Am I meant to like go under the assumption that this is the change that's going to happen for Shadowpan, and I need to be prepared for this, or they don't know how to implement it correctly? Because it's like they've done a lot of like updates, right? Patch updates, like at least 2 cycles now, 3 cycles now. But it still says the same text, but it still doesn't work like this. You still expend you still get like Flurry Strikes expended every 120 energy, basically how it worked from day one. So I'm not too sure what they're doing with Shadowpan. It's just kind of cringe. Either commit or just reverse it. If they commit, by the way, Shadowpan's dead. I'm just saying it right now. You are not playing Shadowpan over Conduit. I'd be immensely surprised unless some like crazy damage numbers are created. Because even now, I feel like Conduit's stronger, even though in the 120 energy cycle for Shadowpan. So if they revert this to 150, one, it makes the burst window impossible, basically, to keep up your stacks and stuff. It basically just screws over Shadowpan, which has, right now, I think is better on some raid fights, and probably is going to be good in some dungeons as well. But if they change it to 150 energy and they reduce the damage of Flurry Strikes, you basically just, like, why would you not play Conduit? It just is going to do more. Like, right now, the Conduit tier set is the 4 set. From when I last checked, you gain, like, 24% increased damage. So from having no set to a 4 set, 24% damage increase. Have you ever seen a Windwalker tier set give you that much? Have you ever seen any tier set give you that much? No? I mean, I'm trying to think. Maybe, like, a Shaman one at some point, but off the top of my head, that is an insane number, right? The Shadowpan one's nowhere near that. So yeah. What has Tettle said about Windwalker? I don't know. I was just messing about because he plays Boomy. I think the issue is classes being tuned around having it. Like Outlaw is 100% physical. If they're balanced around that 8% amp, they would all be awful in groups without it. Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think that's a fair point to it. Balancing around it. I guess you could say the same thing though for the Demon Hunter one then, but I don't know. I just think it's funny how it's the community concern change and not that their internal testing, shows that this is actually bad. But I mean, there's positives and negatives and arguments either way. I'm not too bothered about it. Take away I mean, it's exactly where it was before. Nothing's changed. GG. 2 thumbs up. will get mentioned later in the PTR cycle. Uh-huh. I mean, what worries me right now is I'm just not sure what implementation of our tier sets are going into next tier, right? And we're not far off of it. We're like 2-3 weeks into the next thing, but every week they change how Conduit interacts the tier set. They're you know, blue balling me with Shadow Pan every time I look at it. I think, okay, well, there's no point even practicing Shadow Pan like this if they're not going to commit to it. And I'm just thinking, like, from a guide perspective, how am I meant to, like, practice any of this and make, like, sure? Because every week I log on and I look at, like, the theory crafting and stuff for Windwalker, it changes for Conduit because they've changed how it works. Which is the stealth change that I'll go into now. Makes sense to caveat into that, right? Wow, isn't that cool? Look, when I left-click my mouse, my cat left-clicks as well. Revolutionary technology. I'm not sure what to play. I really enjoy Vengeance Demon Hunter for tanking, but I don't like Havoc as DPS. Dude, same. When I played Demon Hunter, I love tanking. I hated Havoc. That is a vibe. I love Windwalker Monk, but Brewmaster doesn't feel as fun as Demon Hunter tank. I want to stick to one class. That's the issue then, isn't it? If you want a DPS and you want a tank. How's Boomy doing? Not Boomy, Guardian. Is Guardian good at the moment? I don't really keep up with the orange class, but I mean, at least they have the option of going Boomy, right? And Boomy's going to be good. And Feral tends to... It's kind of Feral's funny one. It always sucks, but actually recently it's not been too bad. I mean, what... I don't think Windwalker's going to be bad. We're just not going to be Omega busted. And I think that's fine, as long as you're not, like, doing nothing. Like, if you're playing your rotation perfectly and stuff, and you're still, like, middle/lower of the pack, then something's wrong with that, especially like the high pace of it now. But I don't really know how Brewmaster is. I haven't really looked into it. I don't dabble in Brewmaster, not a fan of it. I think Demon Hunter's going to be okay, although I've heard that they haven't been mentioned too much either. So maybe it's time to just play Rogue, guys. All these other classes are getting nerfed. Rogue's just they're going to be the one. Just play Rogue. To do Guardian kind of bin. I'm not sure what to play. Yeah, that one. Guardian's kind of bin. Well, in that case, then the only viable tank is Demon Hunter. So yeah, what's happened with Conduit? Let me try to explain it. So, it's kind of reverted back. Right, there've been 3 iterations of Conduit tier set and how it actually works. And we're on the 3rd iteration now. And it's a good one. Like, it's not a nerf. This is a stealth change, but it's good. We are happy about this. We are smiling. And I practiced it a bit on the dummies as well, and it plays well. So essentially, initially everything stacked for Windwalker, basically, like in our Heart of the Jade Serpent, all the buffs stacked together, more or less. So you basically have these huge burst windows, and your Fist of Fury could be 0.1 second long, and it was really cool. And then you played this cycle of Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds, one after another outside of your windows, to kind of keep this Heart of the Jade Serpent buff up. Because basically Slicing Winds now gives you Heart of the Jade Serpent. So that's where the stacking comes in. It's from this button here. You basically get the additional stacking. And it was cool, but it was extremely fast-paced and quite high intensity. And then they nerfed this. They were like, this is too much, basically. And they made it so that nothing stacks. And that was okay. I was actually kind of not too negative about this when it happened, in the sense that I was like, okay, I think this is going to be okay in the way that it's not going to overwhelm you. Like, obviously it's a damage loss, right? It depends, like, do you care about, like, actually being able to do your rotation, or do you care about damage? Probably damage, right, guys, yeah? Yeah, probably damage. So they made it so none of the buffs stack. So essentially, you would do, like, basically the exact same opener from Season 1, more or less was the idea. And then you'd still do the Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds one after another, because the idea was that they don't stack, so there's no point trying to make these stack at all. But you're trying to keep uptime with the Heart of the Jade Serpent haste buff, which is called... Oh, what's it called? It's called Jade... I'll get it. I'll do Strike of the Windlord and I'll find out for you. It's called, like, Jade Blessing, Jade Serpent Blessing. In the top right corner, it should pop up now. But yeah, Jade Serpent's Blessing. So it's where you get haste by 15%, increased haste. And the idea was to try to extend this for as long as possible, so that throughout an entire like raid fight or something, you're trying to keep this, you're trying to keep this basically up as long as possible. However, we're in our 3rd iteration now. None of this has been in the patch notes, by the way. Not one. None of this has been in the patch notes on any of these changes. We're in our 3rd iteration now, which is actually not bad. So they made it so they stack again. But we're going to play it a little bit differently now. And this is kind of good. And it actually makes everything line up quite nicely. Because previously things didn't line up that nicely. I don't know if I didn't really share much in my raid testing. I did it off stream and I was going to make a video. But the issue now is that they've changed how the interaction works. It's like, is it even worth uploading? But the issue I had a lot of the time with the changes was the fact that you would end up in a situation where you'd have to delay your 1 minute 30 cooldowns a lot because you were sending Strike of the Windlord and slicing winds off a cooldown. And the issue is that you didn't want to, basically Zoom would be up in like 15-20 seconds and you'd have Strike of the Windlord up, and it would be illegal for you not to send that because of how this worked and you wanted to keep the buff up. So it ended up being the situation where upwards of 10 seconds you delay your cooldowns by almost every time. So instead of 1 minute 30, you'd be a 1 minute 40 spec. And then instead of 3 minutes, it'd be 3 minutes 20. And this delay was kind of awkward and kind of felt bad because, you know, you never want to hold your 1 minute 30s, right? That kind of sucks. It all kind of lines up nicely again now. So the idea is that instead of going Strike of the Windlord and Slicing Winds, you actually instead go Strike of the Windlord, straight away Slicing Winds. And now these two are on the exact same cooldown, right? More or less. And that's how you're going to play it outside of your cooldown windows in this current iteration. And you can see they're on like super short cooldown. I can't give you the exact number off the top of my head. I probably could. Let me keep the timer up, because I probably need to be aware of this as well. Alright, I'll keep this DPS timer up. But like outside of your cooldowns, this is the idea. And basically by cycling these, you end up with getting these pretty much off cooldown at exactly 1 minute 30, which means you'll get them exactly off cooldown at 3 minutes, and so on and so forth. And this means that you're getting this like really nice burst window. So it's about 18 seconds. So about 18 seconds is how long these are on cooldown now, because they stack up the buff together. So it's really cool. It means that you're going to have less uptime on the haste buff, kind of a little bit less time on the haste buff, but you're going to have massive burst windows. Let me show you what I mean. So if you get a lot of like energy like this, and then I Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds, Fist of Fury, it's finished. So we're back to 0.1 second Fist of Furies, basically 0.2 second Fist of Furies. And you basically, the idea of the gameplay is that you're basically focusing on Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds. Spinning Crane Kick, less of a priority. Whirling Dragon Punch, less of a priority. A lot of the time I find that because you get Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick off cooldown so often, that you actually don't get a lot of time to Whirling Dragon Punch, because it glows, but then suddenly one of these is off cooldown, so you can't press it. And then, you know, you do it again, and eventually you will get this. Like, you end up, like, being able to charge this outside of, like, big cooldowns and stuff. But it's more of an afterthought. So there is, like, another build that you can go, but I don't like it. Well, there's 3 builds you can go, which is kind of interesting. There's this one, which I think is good, better for AoE, which does take advantage of Spinning Crane Kick. There's this other one that completely drops Whirling Dragon Punch and makes Spinning Crane Kick practically pointless, but puts a lot more damage into Fist of Fury. And there's a single target raid one, where essentially it's kind of the same thing, except you're basically barely ever Spinning Crane Kicking at all. And I've played tested them all, and even though you have a lot of instances where you don't press Whirling Dragon Punch, and you're kind of having to delay Spinning Crane Kicks and stuff, I still find the Bockless Cock one plays the best. It simmed the best for me as well. I don't know how reliable sims are for the PTR, to be honest, though, so take that with a grain of salt. I just found this one played better, especially outside of, like, cooldowns, because you got to remember, you've got about, like, I don't know, you've got about, like, 10 seconds where you don't have the haste buff, and you don't have the, and you're not running, and you don't have a Heart of the Jade Serpent buff. So in those 8 seconds, that's when you're able to, like, remanage resources and stuff, and you won't be hasted, so that's when you can get, like, your Whirling Dragon Punches out, your Spinning Crane Kick, you start regenning and stuff. So, overall, this is a good change, and I hope they keep this implementation of it. I think it's the best one that they've done. But you see what I'm getting at here is that if this is how Conduit's going to be, and they're going to nerf Shadowpan to 150 seconds, you're not playing Shadowpan. Like, you just, like, I cannot justify it. Like, I think there'd even be a world where potentially you might, I don't know, because the issue of this at the moment is that you can't go Lightning. Like, you have to scuff up your talent so hard to get Lightning again. So, unless there's, like, a really good boss fight where Lightning's good, maybe Forge Master or Raz where it is good, or Soul Binder, maybe then you pay Shadowpan, because they're actually good for 2 minutes. But if they reverse it, or they make it this 150 energy, I feel like you just lose too much. You're not going to be able to keep up time. You're not going to be able to do damage. You basically, you might as well just play Conduit. But if they keep Shadowpan, like, in an ideal world, they keep Shadowpan exactly how it is right now. So 120 energy spent per in Strike of the oh my god, words. Storm, Earth, and Fire. That would be perfect. That means it's actually viable. It's good on some bosses. And if they keep Conduit like this, it's actually a powerhouse again in single target. Not like crazy, but it will actually be you'll get invited to your raid probably. And it's actually going to be good for M plus because you're back to 1 minute 30s. You're not delaying really too much, and it plays really well. I'll show you on a dummy in a sec how it kind of plays out. But it's fun. It's good. Surely there's no way Vengeance Demon Hunter remains untouched, right? Yeah, man. Surely, right? Yeah? Oh, yeah. Well, they should release the GCD of Rising Sun Kick and Blackout Kick so we can fit them in the rotation properly. So the idea of this is that you're actually not meant to press Blackout Kick with the Bockless builds, which is something maybe I didn't mention. So they're called, literally the build's called Bockless Cock. And the idea is that you take no Blackout Kick nodes. Now, sometimes you will press it. Sometimes you do get the Blackout Kick effect, and you can use it as like a filler ability, or if you've mismanaged your Chi a little bit and you need to get Fist of Furies out, you can use Blackout Kick to reset or reduce Chi by 1 to get to your target. But usually, the idea is you're not meant to press Fist of Blackout Kick, and you rarely do. I find myself barely ever pressing it. I don't think it's actually too bad. I think the most annoying thing that I find so far is if you do take Whirling Dragon Punch, all the time I find that it glows, it's the next button I want to press, I press it, but because one of these have come off of cooldown due to Zuin's Battle Gear or the short cooldown of Rising Sun Kick, yada yada, I always get blue balled. I press it, but it's not technically still in that 1 second. Also, this 1 second is fake as fuck, by the way. Like, sometimes it will... Sometimes you'll have spent both of these, and this will last for like 2 seconds. Sometimes one will come off of cooldown, and this will instantly disappear. It's meant to stay around for 1 second after these come off of cooldown. That is not true. I refuse to believe it. Absolute fake news. Like, it has a mind of its own. It decides when it decides when you can press it and when you can't press it. If we don't get tuning next week before release, we're bottom tier M plus DPS. Likely. Likely. The idea is to do some M plus today. How the group's looking at the moment. People playing the game right now? Shit! That's not good. Let's hide that for a sec. I mean, look, the positive side of things is that a lot of the broken specs are kind of getting nerfed now. Hunter's been hit twice, right? Like, BM Hunter, absurd damage. It got hit. Stampede got hit by 35% last week. Gutted. Marksmanship nerfed, Beastmaster nerfed. What's the melee spec that's taking names at the moment? Frost DK. Well, they've just been hit by a 12% nerf. Sit, doggies. Breath of Cinder goes to damage. Okay, that's a buff. Hold up. Just look at this one. All ability damage reduced by 12%. So I think it's less about buffing us at the moment and more about nerfing the broken specs. And I think like it's really hard to tell until you get into the next tier, right? But like all I can do is like look at like how my raid stuff went and how what I see in M plus. And if there's specs that are like absolutely stomping me, it's usually these ones that have just been mega nerfed, right? Or in the raid, it's usually the Frost EK that was top damage or some range specs. And it's hard. It's hard to tell until you actually get into the new season what's going to be good or not. But I'm not saying we're going to be S tier. I think B sounds more reasonable with this conduit change now. Like before, I was kind of joking about us being D tier. But I think B tier is maybe reasonable for where we're at. Pre the stealth change, like if that goes live where they don't stack, man, Conduit's gonna feel pretty bad to play. It just feels really clunky and awkward at times. I still can't log onto PTR. Unlucky, as in like it won't let you in, as in you've done all the things to set it up and you try to log in and it says no. Or you literally don't have the option to load in the PTR. What conduit changed? Did I miss it? Basically, just the tier set. They made it so that our Heart of the Jade Serpent stack again. But like, there are rules to it. I can bring up the rules if you want. They're kind of interesting. I love rules. Don't you love it when your spec has rules that you need to take into account? Where are they? New rule set for Conduit the Celestials. Unity, Heart of the Jade Serpent, consumes Strike of the Windlord, Heart of the Jade Serpent. This is fine, because this is kind of... You would never overlap these anyway, right? In the sense that even now in Season 1... No, 2. We're in Season 2. You know, you'd never overlap a Strike of the Windlord, Heart of the Jade Serpent with a Celestial Conduit, Heart of the Jade Serpent, right? So that's fine. It consumes it, whatever. You're never stacking those anyway. It's fine, whatever. Strike of the Windlord, Heart of the Jade Serpent stacks with Slicing Winds, Heart of the Jade Serpent. So this is the good one. We like this one. And then Slicing Winds stacks with Unity, Heart of the Jade Serpent, which is an interesting one. So that means, like, if you, in your opener, you do Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds into Heart of the Jade Serpent. Sorry, Slicing Winds into, what's it called? Celestial Conduit. Those two now stack. So you can get some really nice 0.1 second cooldowns. And then JSB adds full duration onto existing JSB if it is applied. JSB is just the haste buff. So basically, the buffs just, like, they add on to each other, so they don't overwrite each other. And that's why this Strike of the Windlord and Slicing Winds thing is now a thing, right? Previously, I don't think it worked like this. So that's why you spread them out as well, because the haste buffs overwrit each other. But now, they overlap. Does it show me the buff so I can show you? No. The issue is that it doesn't show up here because basically the Heart of the Jade Serpent buff takes precedent over Jade Serpent's Blessing when it comes to showing on your actual auras and stuff. But the idea is that they now, like, extend, basically. They don't, like, overlap each other. So that's cool. That's nice. So basically, this is the best iteration Conduit's been in. That's exactly how I hoped it would play out. So you have a proper opener. It feels good. Yeah, literally, exactly. So I can show you, like, kind of the idea of what I think the opener is going to be like. Nothing's set in stone, obviously. Maybe it'll turn out that we're actually going to be using Jadefire Stomp, you know? Let's hope not. So the opener's kind of tricky to explain as it goes, because I'm trying to think fast, but the simple rule is you want to Fist of Fury as many times as possible. And you want to constantly be in Heart of the Jade Serpent. So the general idea of what I'm going to do is I'm going to Tiger Palm into Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds, because that's the combo now. You always Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds, because that gets your Heart of the Jade Serpent off, and then it also gets you a nice haste buffed as well, extended for a long period of time, and then you've also activated Gale Force. So that's your opener now. In AoE, I'm pretty sure you're just going to Tiger Palm, Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds. You could, like, Tiger Palm, Rising Sun Kick, Tiger Palm, but in AoE, I just prefer just going straight in for getting the Rising Sun Kick. Once you've done that, instantly Fist of Fury. Oh, no, sorry, we forgot the main... Sorry, guys, I forgot that you need to press Zuin and Storm Earth and Fire. We forgot about that. Okay, Tiger Palm, Zuin, Storm Earth and Fire, Strike of the Windlord, Slicing Winds, Fist of Fury, and then ideally, we Rising Sun Kick, and this proc Zuin's Battle Gear to give us Fist of Fury again. So the idea would be Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, into Whirling Dragon Punch. Now, you're not necessarily always going to get the proc for the crit. If you don't get the proc for the crit, what I would usually then do is I would Whirling Dragon Punch, then hopefully get my Fist of Fury off. And if not, if I know I'm not going to get a Fist of Fury off for Celestial Conduit, then I'll just Tiger Palm to give myself some more chi to, you know, mess around with later on. And then Fist of Fury straight away afterwards. Once you come out of Conduit, the idea is to pretty much get Fist of Fury off again as fast as possible. And then you're basically playing the cycle of Fist of Fury, Rising Sun Kick. The only time I'll ever Rising Sun Kick really is to get Fist of Fury for cooldown. I never press this button when Fist of Fury's up, because that means when I've sent Fist of Fury, I have nothing to reduce its cooldown. The entire premise of this now is to get Fist of Fury off cooldown all the time. This is the button. This is your big boy button. We like this one. To note, what I've stopped doing, and to make timings line up nicely, is I will not send out my next Strike of the Windlord and Slicing Winds until my Heart of the Jade Serpent buff is down off of Celestial Conduit. These two come up slightly before. Now, I was messing around a little bit before I started streaming with it. And potentially you will want to send these straight away. The issue with this is that you do kind of steal from the Heart of the Jade Serpent you just had, so you've technically stolen some resources from yourself. But as well as this, I find at the other end, your cooldowns are about to come up, and these will come up like 4 or 5 seconds before that. And because they're 4 or 5 seconds, you're not sending them. You're not sending them because you need to send at 1:30. I find if you let this part of the window play out fully and then send them, they pretty much, your 1 minute 30s all line up together at the same time. So I think that's probably how you're going to do it, but I don't know. What would I know? I just play Monk. So if you use back-to-back, you really get 30% haste. No, so it doesn't stack like that. So the stacking part is the cooldown reduction. So yeah, sorry, it's probably this is a good example as well. If you look at my haste over here, if you can see that 22%. If I use Strike of the Windlord, 40%. If I Slicing Winds, it stays at 40%, right? So the haste buff doesn't like double up on each other. It's just the duration of the haste buff doesn't like. So instead of it like, because let's say the haste buff is 4 seconds long, and you send both abilities, it doesn't overlap and stay at 4 seconds. It will be 8 seconds long. Does that kind of make sense? So that's the idea now. But the haste doesn't add up. Otherwise, it would be insane. So that's the one thing that doesn't stack. But that's not really too bad, because the amount of haste we get is just too much already, right? When you're in your cooldowns and stuff, you're always at 150 energy. Like, I never have energy issues. I never really have chi issues as well. So that's not the bad part. Like, I wouldn't worry about the haste thing not stacking. The fact that the haste duration is longer, that's good. Because that just means, like, outside of the windows as well, you're just getting loads of resources back and stuff. What Discord is that with all the other Windwalkers? I only have Peak. Oh, that's my Discord custom. You can join it. There's, like, I think a link below the video on Twitch. There should be a button for Discord. That's my Discord. Where I just, like, post stream notifications or any changes, build, stuff like that, and I'm dabbling around with resources, all that sort of jazz, you know? The stuff that you probably want as a Windwalker. I'm imagining someone so desperate for Windwalker changes that they convince themselves there were stealth changes just to cope. I'm not coping, you're coping. What the hell? Guys, they changed us, I swear. You gotta believe me. You haven't been on the PTR? No, trust me. Trust me, they've changed us. We're different now. We're better. Right. Stealth changes. Also, thank you for all the follows. There have been a ton of you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I'll just do the opener now. I've kind of, like, preambled on this. Oh, there is a group going. Oh, I kind of want to sign up for this, actually, whilst I'm doing this. Because, look, there are not very many dungeons. Also, look at these cool dungeons we get to do. We get to do this new dungeon called the Dawnbreaker. Wow, Dawnbreaker. That's cool, right? This cool dungeon called Operation Floodgate. Wow, I've never seen these dungeons before in my life. That's pretty cool, yeah? I'm gonna try to get into these as well. What the hell? What I get? Oh, these meta boys. Let me just try to get into a group whilst I mess around here. Okay. So I've explained the opener. Let's see if I can remember it. Let's hide this. Let's reset these as well. Oh, memory test time. So, stack up the buffs, straight into a Fist of Fury. Do we get the proc? We get the proc, so instantly Fist of Fury again, Rising Sun Kick again, back into Conduit, so that we can Fist of Fury straight away, Tiger Palm to allow myself to do that, into Rising Sun Kick, into Will and Dragon Punch, into Spinning Crane Kick, into... Now we send again. So the cycle repeats itself, right? And now the goal is to basically Fist of Fury as often as possible. That's not good. I'm going to spin a Crane Kick here, even though I don't want to, just so I don't lose the proc, and Fist of Fury got delayed. Lag. Neat. Oh, I'm lagging. Help. See, I don't even think I've played this perfectly, but you kind of get the idea, right? You're basically double stacking these, but I want to kind of show you is the overlap of cooldowns coming up. So, like, when these are on cooldown... Oh my god, the input lag is horrendous right now. The main goal is basically going to be trying to set yourself up for these, like, mini burst windows, but they're not so mini anymore. They're very bursty. So, 20 seconds on Zuin, so we're trying to set ourselves up for another cycle here. So we do that, into Rising Sun Kick. Didn't reset Fist of Fury, kind of cringe, but we'll allow it. Oh, can we get one more Fist of Fury in? Nice, that works out well. And spinning Crane Kick here and there. And now my big cooldowns are coming up, and you can see, like, these do come up a little bit early, but that's okay. This is way better than what it was before, like, the other week. And then you're essentially just doing it all again. Oh, give me one more Fist of Fury out. Oh, double target palm. Kind of cringe, eh? I'm pressing my buttons, but they're not working. I can't tell if that's a PTR thing or a me thing. But you can see, like, a lot of the time I'm finding that, like, I'm stacking these resources a lot. So this is why there's, like, a big, the idea is that you're probably not even going to be running things like Revolving Whirl and stuff like that, because you end up in this, like, deficit. I think for M+, you'll still run this, because Spinning Crane Kick's just too much damage to give up. It's just, it feels much nicer, and your cooldowns all line up now. So I think it's in a good space. Obviously, what's the damage like? I don't know. I haven't played it in M+. But at no point am I, like, really running into energy issues and stuff. I'm just constantly, like, maging Fist of Fury. Like, even though I have Spinning Crane Kicks here, like, I want to get Rising Sun Kick off as fast as possible. And now, this is when I'll, like, you know, send out my Spinning Crane Kicks. And then this should line up again pretty nicely again. So this is a 3-minute lineup that I was talking about. And this lines up almost perfectly now. The idea is you're sending Strike and that off of cooldown. You have to set up to do it. If you, like, start delaying them and stuff at all, then you run into the issues of not being able to get your 1 minute 30s lined up well. So it's like #1 priority is basically making sure that Strike and Slicing Winds off cooldown. Otherwise you do just run into the issue. Can't tell if my mouse not working or if it's my brain. But yeah, that's kind of the idea of it. And I definitely could have got more damage out there, like around the 9 milli mark on 4 targets, 5 targets, 4 targets. It's more damage than it was last reset. Let me put it that way in the PTR. But you can still see that in AoE Spinning Crane Kick's so strong. So I feel like removing Spinning Crane Kick, going for the Bockless Cock build without Revolving Whirl and Whirling Dragon Punch just feels awful. But it's the trade-off of, like, sitting on 2 Spinning Crane Kick stacks for a while to make sure you get Fist of Fury out or something like that. Like, that will all be, like, worked out in the Sims and stuff. What's more valuable? Is it worth sending the Spinning Crane Kick so you don't overcap? Probably, at the end of the day, it might be. But I just want to show the playstyle of it. It feels good. It's nice that these two now stack together nicely and their haste buff is good. Because you can see, like, at no point was I really having energy... energy issues, 0. Chi issues, slightly. But... That's why I like Spinning Crane Kick, because I can allow myself to Tiger Palm, dance with the Chi Spinning Crane Kick, Tiger Palm, and this is my filler. How many times did I press Blackout Kick? 5 times. I don't believe that, but apparently I did. And I probably... Did I really press it 5 times? I was expecting something like 2. But you can see, like, even with 5 presses, it's nothing. Like, Blackout Kick is such a dead button. You're basically only pressing it if you have absolutely nothing else to press, or you're trying to sort your chi out. It's like, my best example of this is, let's say everything's on cooldown, Fist of Fury is about to come off cooldown, and you have Rising Sun Kick, you're at 2 chi. Well, you're not going to Rising Sun Kick, because if you Rising Sun Kick, you Tiger Palm, you're not getting Fist of Fury off. So then I would Blackout Kick to get to 1 chi, Tiger Palm, back to 3, then Fist of Fury. So that's really the only case I'd Blackout Kick, or if it's a free Blackout Kick, because you still get those. They're just a lot more rarer. So that's kind of the premise of how it plays. I'm not like, I feel like this is mostly going to be cock-centered today. Giggity. I think it's going to be a cock-focused day, because Shadow Pan is just, I just don't know what they're doing with it. And, like, it feels a little bit, like, redundant to be testing out the old version if they're just going to nuke it. Plus, I think this is going to play better M+. Also, I got declined from these groups. That sucks. What do you mean I got declined? Let me in. Let me play the game. Ooh. Maybe if I make my own group, people will come and play with me. Prime with the Sacred Flame! Oh, Jesus Christ, no. Unless. I don't know. I'll make my own group. See if anyone joins. That'd be funny. Oh, people join. That's kind of crazy, actually. Wow. All these mages, dude. I swear everyone's playing mage at the moment. I was on here earlier and there were like 3 mages all hitting this target dummy. Every time I log in, there's this character called Shu, who's a mage. He's always hitting these target dummies. Everybody's playing mage at the moment. Absolutely crazy, crazy sauce. Goddamn mages. See, I'll just invite anyone. I don't give a shit. Get in here. What do you think about performance in Raid? I think in Raid, we'll be good at single target. Like I can bring up Raid logs if you, let me find them. So it's the best way to really like kind of visualize how raiding is going. I'll bring up the first. Oh, is this PTR? Yeah, this is PTR sins. So like, why I keep going on about Shadowpan getting like Shadowpan's really good for this Soulbinder fight. So like surprisingly quite high on the DPS meters, right? Can we see this? Yeah, we can see this. But I want to leave it on the screen as well so I can invite people if they join. So this was Shadowpan playing on Soulbinder, and Soulbinder is an interesting fight where you get intermittent ad spawns all the time. Like most of the time it's 2 ads, so it's 3 targets, but every 2 minutes, this dude summons like 6 ads that all just run at you and go crazy. And this is where Shadowpan, I think, can really perform. The issue I had with Conduit on this boss, and Forge Master as well, but Forge Master less so. I actually really enjoyed Conduit on that boss. Is that 1 minute 30s don't line up well with this fight at all. So you're either holding your cooldowns or you're playing Shadowpan, and I think holding cooldowns is just criminal, right? You're not holding for 2 minutes as like Conduit, otherwise why are you playing it? And you can see how much damage like comes from Flurry Strikes here. If I hover over that, it probably won't show it so well here. It kind of does. Flurry Strikes is doing insane damage. Crackling Jade Lightning does insane damage. It's not showing it how accurately because it's Storm Earth and Fire damage as well. You can see like Crackling Jade Lightning, top of Storm Earth and Fire, Flurry Strikes. And this is why, oh my god, tank, get him in. This is why I don't want them to change this Shadowpan thing, like the Shadowpan to 150 energy, because if you change it to 150 energy, you can't do this on any of these bosses. You are not getting your 20 stacks upkeep kept. You are not sending out as many Flurry Strikes. Like, they're never going to do as much damage. You're basically... Shadowpan just gets screwed, and it's annoying because it looks like it's going to be better for some fights, right? And and that's good. Because last year it was all Conduit. Like, you kind of had to play Conduit. You could have played Shadowpan, right? It wasn't trolling, but it's kind of cool that you can have different hero specs good at different bosses. Especially if timings and that work out like that. So I'll be a bit disappointed if they do make this change for Shadowpan, because I don't think it's broken. Is the argument as well, right? Like, if Shadowpan was broken, I'd understand them nerfing it. In dungeons at the moment, it fucking sucks. Like I cannot understate how awful it feels in dungeons. Like, it's not bad to play, and it all kind of works out together, but like just the damage output feels so reliant on Shadow Wisdom of the Wall. I said it a lot last stream, but it feels like you are completely reliant on getting Shadow proc. So Wisdom of the Wall, you get 4 buff procs, and it's in a random order. The difference between you getting a Shadow proc first out of the 4 and getting it 4th out of 4 is so much damage on a trash pack that I feel like Shadowpan's going to be a coin flip on how well you do in a dungeon. Like, genuine coin flip. And is that good? No. Well, like, why should it be a coin flip if I do damage on a trash pack or not? Whereas Conduit's not a coin flip, right? Conduit's just a you'll do damage, bro. That was easy. I just make my own group with blackjack and hookers. Now I need to craft a key real quickly. What did I tell these people I was making? A 12 Oh my god, I made Priory. I should have done one of the other dungeons that wasn't absolutely garbage tier. How do I make a key again? So I press this. Oh. And then I press... Ah, where's my scroll? Ah, where's my scroll? I'm just going to buy 20 of these, then I can't lose them. Wait, where the fuck is it? 12? Oh, it's up here. Okay. Bro, I need to clear my bags. You ever try finding stuff? Anyone else's bags like this in the game? Just me? That has, like, the most horrendous bags imaginable. You there. Teleport me to my priory. Oh, I could actually teleport. Never mind. We'll teleport you like this. I agree 100%. Mine are worse. My bags are so bad. And these are PTR bags, by the way. Like, if my PTR bags are bad, then you don't even want to see retail. You just get so much loot these days, you know? And like, oh, I don't have time to sift through it. I'll do that later, you know? Oh, set to mythic. Yeah, we'll do. Oh, you can tell I haven't hosted a dungeon before. we're going to play Conduit here, because I want to kind of see how it feels with these changes.
The orphans of Merodar have been asking to play with you again. I think they'd appreciate it if you visited them.
I mean, I might play some Shadowpan a little bit later, but really I want to focus on Conduit today. So right now, I think, especially with these changes, it's just going to perform better than Shadowpan. It's going to take, like, for starters, boss damage in these dungeons. Shadowpan won't be able to compete with Conduit now. Like, I feel like... Is it crazy to say that I'm going to beat this Frost Death Knight? Is that, like... Is that controversial? Because I am. I'm going to stomp this dude. He doesn't even know it. And I'm going to screenshot it, and I'm going to post it in the Death Knight Discord and get blacklisted. Oh, it's going to be so fun. Oh, DK's in shambles. Bro, where was your Discord when I was making all my MRT reminders this tier? I could have just joined yours and saved myself hours of figuring it out. On the plus side, though, it's good to figure them out yourself, right? Like, this was the first tier I had to figure them out myself. I think it's good practice. It's like I always say, if people are copying my notes and stuff, just be aware that, like, it might not always be best for your situation, or maybe your strat is slightly different and stuff. So it's always good to, like, get in the habit of tweaking your notes and stuff for yourself. So, like, mine are always just, like, a baseline for what I did, but your raid comp might be different. Your boss time might be longer or shorter, depending on how, like, when you're playing and whatnot. Like, Mugsy, for instance, I had a Mugsy note up that was from Mugsy at the start of the tier, and people were, like, potentially using it for Mugsy, like, the strats nowadays. It's just difficult to keep it up. So I'd always advise, like, working on it yourself. It's good to have a baseline, though. It does save a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to set up. Alright, we're in Conduit. We're going to switch talents to Bockless, Cop, Morphilla. Yes, we're happy with this. Right, let's do a pull timer. I've forgotten how to do dungeons. It's been a while. It's been forgot to do dungeons. Bro, I kind of like this cat in the corner of my screen.
4, 3.
I mean,
2,
the keyboard's kind of
1.
scuffed because it has, like, League of Legends buttons, but don't worry about that. Just pretend that this is how you play WoW. To be honest, though, I press all those buttons. Like, it kind of works out. I press 1 to 6 for all of my abilities.
The expedition built the priory as a place to contemplate the
Bro, I thought
mysteries of
that name was
Merodar.
Gussie, and for a second I was brain rotted, but it's Gacy. I'm still brain rotted, though.
The devotees have
Alright.
become secretive.
Oh my god, Priory. I hate this dungeon. It's like I'm on live servers. Oh, Fist of Fury instantly off cooldown again. Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god, I cannot press my buttons fast enough. Right, if I don't know what's going on, you know what's going on. I think we're winning. Alright, now it slows down a little bit, which is kind of nice. I do like getting the break every so often outside of the burst windows. It is a lot, especially on the PTR, where cooldowns are just insane. Like, and I'm playing on 150 latency, so trying to, like, play Conduit at this pace is just very difficult. I mean, I'm not too far off the Death Knight. Let's put it that way. I mean, already it just feels it just feels infinitely better than what it did last reset. Just being able to, like, constantly get, like, tons of, like, cooldown reduction, hasted all the time. Oh no, get me out of that. And then we're just fighting chainmail here, so I think. Oh my god, my buttons are lagged. Oh, he's pulling more. Actually, I'm just not gonna send anything for a sec. Yeah, he's up here. What are you doing up here, boss? Oh god, cooldowns again. It's just... Uh-oh. Oh my god, it's so fast-paced. I feel like when I'm actually able to play my latency when this goes to live servers, this will feel so much better. But even with, like, the delay and stuff, it's actually not too bad. And I'm doing surprisingly decent damage. That was actually a bit of a mistake. I sent out Slicing Winds after Fist of Fury, so now they're not desynced, but I've kind of... They're not on the same cooldown, and that is a mistake, so I'm going to have to rectify that somehow. I'm going to delay Strike for just a second. But that's not great. Like, it's not the end of the world to not send them out one after another, but that is the general idea, is that you do want to be sending them out one after another. Also, he's already gone. And then we should have everything up on our cooldowns again. If I could Tiger Palm, that'd be nice. So, like, we do find time still to send out, like, Spinning Crane Kick and stuff. I'm not really pressing any CC buttons. So I have cooldowns up now. I just need to know how big of a pack this is going to be. I mean, it's still pretty large, so I'm just going to send. Screw it. Holding cooldowns? Nah. Guys, this Windwalker's so back. Am I coping right now? Cross DK in shambles? I mean, this is pretty good. Are we pulling this with the boss? Oh, he's angry at me. Try to get them. No, I can't get that off. So that's the time when I did have to blackout kick to make sure that I could... Oh, we got a lot of cast on me. Oh. It's so fast-paced, I find a lot of the time I don't actually have time to talk. Which isn't great, right, when you're streaming. Oh, me about that. We want to send out one more set of cooldowns here. Yeah, I think I need to replug in my mouse. Every time I Tiger Palm, it's not working. I don't think it's a latency thing. It happens on live sometimes when my mouse is being buggy. Just another issue I'm having right now. So at this point, I'm going to send out a mini burst window. So I still think mini burst windows are going to be a thing. And it's where I don't think the trash pack is like big enough for me to justify sending out big cooldowns. But because this is only an 18-second cooldown now, basically, if I can judge that I will... Basically, do I have 18 seconds between this and the next pull? If the answer is yes, I'll send. And that's exactly what I've done right now. They'll come off a cooldown. So I think roughly 18 seconds. I'm not sure if that's the exact number, but that's kind of what I've got in my head, is it's 18 seconds. Oh, it's going to be juicy. Time is on this. So we'll get another Fist of Fury off straight away after this. Oh, it's disgusting damage. Another Fist of Fury. Into Strike of the Windlord, into Slicing Winds, into another Fist of Fury. Into another Fist of Fury. And now we get a Spinning Crane Kick off. And now it kind of slows down a little bit. Like, the damage is, like, good. Boss DK still a little bit ahead, but I think I'm gonna stomp this guy on the single target bosses. I think that's where Windwalker might still have its edge, especially with Conduit, right? And Slicing Winds actually does damage again now. The issue before was that Slicing Winds lost a lot of damage. The changes from the other week, was it? To the tier set. Now Slicing Winds does loads of damage again. You're pressing it all the time. Like its cooldown's just super low now. And we'll get one more set before the boss. Go on, give me a Fist of Fury. What's Holy Radiance? Doesn't sound good. Using global cooldowns to CC will feel even worse now. Tell me about it. On those like initial packs, I don't think I pressed a single CC button. So I was just like, I don't have time. CC? What that? So I probably should have sent major cooldowns out here. I was actually saving them for the boss, but this pack's kind of big enough to justify it still. So a slight delay there, but I'm just going to send them out again. They appear to be ambushing me without my lieutenant. Meh. I'm being the Frost DK. It's over. Don't screenshot that. Post that on their Discord. Post on their Discord.
Ours is the true path to the Arathi.
Oh, what a dance proc. Oh my god. That was so lucky. I don't know what this guy does. Oh, is this guy that does fireballs? Oh, there's no way we have to deal with him now, right? Bro, bring out Holy Radiance. This guy sucks. You have to interrupt him as well. Ew, mechanics? This boss is meant to be simple. I'm meant to AFK this thing. Oh, what the hell's this? They changed this boss. Am I crazy? They've given this boss mechanics. Don't worry, it looks like the DK's winning. It's okay. I'm about to pop cooldowns and this guy's about to go straight to jail. Oh, wait, cooldowns during Ember Storm? Well, that's not good. Oh, he's in jail. I've done him. Okay, I genuinely, like, am I in a safe spot here? It feels kind of safe right now. It feels kind of safe. Like, this is what I love about Conduit. I can't Slicing Winds because he has... I literally cannot Slicing Winds right now because this guy's Savage Mauling me. That's kind of cringe. Didn't know you couldn't do that. Is this really the pathing you're going to go now? What was I saying? This is what I love about Conduit. Is Conduit should be the burst one, right? Like the burst variantation. And it didn't, like, feel so much like that anymore. Like, it felt like they kind of neutered it a little bit. It feels like I do first. It feels like single target's going to be great again. And I think that's our strength in the raid. Guys, we need to get this guy off of me. I cannot Slicing Winds. That's a damage loss. Yeah, they've changed this. They've added a circle to this guy. That's definitely new. I think I want cooldowns for the next pack, so I'm going to do a mini burst window here. It'll be about 18 seconds, right? I think I've timed that fine. Oh. I lost a lot of damage here because I couldn't Slicing Winds for a good portion. So unfortunately, he has taken back the top DPS spot. Oh. There's no winning. Nerf DK. Ow. Good. That's my feedback. Oh, bugger, I don't care. I love when range stand in Africa for that, but oh my god, what is this? Chat, am I cooked? Oh shit, let's see what our burst damage is like in AoE. It's too much for my PC. It's too much for my PC. Hell. Is it over? Oh, imagine if I had a real weapon. I mean, damage is decent, right? I was playing on like 4 FPS with 150 input lag. That's not bad, eh? Like I think I saw like 27 milli. Definitely could have been 30. I definitely could have got 30 out there, I reckon. Yeah, I completely agree. I feel like it's gonna feel awful now to like be casting. It sounds bad, but it's gonna feel awful now to be casting CC like leg sweep. I don't want to press that. Ain't no way in hell I'm pressing an interrupt during Fist of Fury. On the silver lining of it is though, is that you know how you hate pressing an interrupt during Fist of Fury? Well, now if your Fist of Fury is only 1.1 second long, that never really happens, right? That's kind of good. Good change. Thank you, Blizzard. They were like, we're not going to remove it, but here's an alternative. Deal? I'll take that deal. Oh god, people are dying. think I'm targeted by like 10 different spells right now. Yeah, that'll be alright. Oh, do you spawn just outside now? Okay, I will like sweep that one, so they were all targeting me. I'm gonna walk over this. I think it's fine. Alright, I'm gonna say it. Windwalker's gonna be meta next season in M+. Now, you might remember, like, you crazy, you can't say that. I can say whatever I want. I'm sorry, 11 milli? DK 7 milli? I mean, who would you take to your M+ dungeon? Come on, let's get real. Let's get real with this. No, I don't know. It's hard to tell, but this feels a lot better than what I was doing the other day. When I was playing Shadowpan the other day, oh my god. Can I justify? Because my Zuin's on 15 seconds, I can justify sending this out and delaying my cooldowns a little bit. Otherwise, I'm sat in this, like, limbo period of not having any haste or anything for a significant long period of time. Now we send everything out. If my buttons want to work, that'd be cool. I don't want to take it. Isn't that what the Death Knight's for? Oh my god, my Fist of Fury button didn't work! Yo, and we got Fergie spitting bangers. My god, today's a good day. This is what I say. If you're on YouTube, you must be like so confused right now. If you're on Twitch, you're listening to these bangers. You understand. Yeah, I mean, single target's what I expect of Conduit, and this is what I mean when I say like, even if Shadowpan doesn't get like, even if the nerfs don't come into Shadowpan, which I'm like, likelihood is I actually don't think they will. Otherwise, they would have done it already. I don't think you can probably outdo this iteration of Conduit with Shadowpan in M+. Like, I don't know. I think it'd have to be something special from Shadowpan to be able to like compete. And from my playtesting and stuff, I haven't seen what I'm looking for. Oh my god, we're gonna get another set of cooldowns out. Can I Tiger Palm, please?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Go on, stay alive long enough so that I can actually get my entire burst window out on you. That'd be cool. Awesome. Let me... My mouse is so cooked right now. Let me do that. Press these buttons, put it back in. Wow! Okay, save. I don't know if that saved it, but I need to do something with it. My one button is balked, and my one button's quite important. My one button is my Tiger Palm, and it was also my Fist of Fury. Not a great button to have not working half the time, right? Kind of important. So this is without Blackout Kick. You can see that I actually had 2 free Blackout Kicks there. So it cost me no chi to spend them, and I was able to use it as a filler. To allow myself to generate chi with Tiger Palm. So that's really the only time I'm ever Blackout Kicking now. Is, no, my one button is still so balked. I probably need to replug in my mouse. I don't even know. It sounds like a problem for another day, I'll be honest. It's Friday. I don't give a fuck. I just want to beat this Death Knight. Oh, it's the dream, dude. I don't think there's enough. I don't think I have enough like gas in the tank to get him anymore. We're like very close. It doesn't look like we're close. I mean, it does look like we're close, but I'm trying to work out how I top him. I mean, this is gonna be big. I think he popped his cooldowns just now, so I need to wait for everything to spawn. And now, I need to. I didn't get lucky on the prop. Oh, that sucks. We didn't get the Fist of Fury reset. We don't need it. We don't need handicaps. We don't need handouts. Wait, why is this mage doing damage? Stop! You're stealing my damage. You haven't done. You haven't been doing damage the whole dungeon. Stop! This is my time. Oh. Like, all I can really ask for Windwalker right now is to keep up with other specs, right? I don't need I don't think any of us need Windwalker to be like the rank 1 M+ spec, right? That's a little bit unrealistic. But we don't want to suck, right? And I think right now this doesn't feel like sucking. This feels like it feels like I'm contributing, right? No one wants to feel like they're not contributing to an M+ dungeon. It's felt like that on the PTR for like weeks now. It actually feels like I'm contributing. So that's nice. Feels like I'm part. Like I'm not just a passenger on this M+ journey. I should probably do some interrupts because I am out of cooldowns right now. Oh my god, he popped his cooldowns. Help, I'm lagging. It's the only reason I'm falling behind. Can I make any more excuses for any reasons why my damage isn't as high as his? My mouse is borked. My FPS is low. Any more? They nerfed that thing. Mystic Touch. Urgh. Goddamn Blizzard. They stole 3% of my damage. What the fuck? I probably should have sent mages there. So I'm still in the habit from Season 2 of quite extensive periods of holding cooldowns for big trash packs, but I feel like you don't have to anymore. So I think that's like a habit I need to potentially break. If that kind of makes sense. Like a lot of the time I would hold for like this pack up here, but I think if I sent there, I still have really good burst with this trash pack. These pull into the boss. Does he know that? Hopefully he doesn't, because that'd be funny as fuck. Oh. Oh no. Oh, they're all targeting me. Woo! Oh, come on. I'll send again here. Oh, we're actually really close to beating him. I can actually feel it in my souls. My hardened soul. What the fuck am I talking about? I was trying to make it like Windwalker related and it came out all wrong. So it's the last boss, and I think I have the edge on him in single target. Now, I might have to play the last boss's trash pack kind of dirty. Don't worry about it. Do these pull? They do. Yo, I'm padding. Oh, didn't want to have to blackout kick there, but had to. Did we just lost? Oh no, wait. Bro, did he just give me PI? He definitely just gave me PI, right? Wait, no he didn't. Delete that from the logs. Bro, I need a Fist of Fury. He's doing 20 million! Yeah, hit him with that. Can't do damage if you... Shit. Oh, it's Jova. I've cucked myself. No, it's not over till I say it's over, actually. Hold on. I am in a really bad spot here, though, to get him on the damage meters. Oh, I forgot about the disorientate in my cooldowns. Oh. Not like this. Murpray. You gotta say it in like the voice of the, you know, the Joker when he's like Murray. How you have to say it. It's gonna phase here. I'm gonna send anyway. So I'm a crazy Windwalker. So I'm pretty sure my cooldowns are gonna come back up when we go up top. Alright, it's possible. I'm 10.10 Billy behind him. I'm gonna hold coolies here. Well, not these coolies. I'm gonna send these coolies. And then when the ads come up, oh my god. Wait, they're not meant to come up this fast. I don't have coolies yet. Bro, he's gonna pad. Stay back. I can't let him pad. If I can't pad, you can't pad. Thoughts? Right, and ASN now. This is it. My moment. As big as you're gonna get. Come on. I'm just gonna have to overlap cooldowns here. Look away. been sit. Come on. Come on. Come on. Tiger Palm, please work. Oh, it's just too easy. It's just too easy. Windwalker is better than Frost DK. You've seen it here for...
It is done.
Oh my
These zealots
god.
no longer steer our
We're,
faith
we're
towards
so
destruction.
back. We're so back.
All who take
You
comfort
are-
in the light of the sacred flame. Thank you.
We're so back, boys. Screenshot that. Send that to the DK Discord. They're gonna be in shambles. Oh, it made the run fun. Made the run fun. So what's that? That's like a plus 12 doing about 8 million damage. I'm trying to think about like last season. So if you were lucky and you were really outputting damage in a plus 12, what are we talking, like 5 milli? 5 milli is maybe what you could do. Did you get to 6 on Priory? I forgot, it's been too long. I think the damage is decent. But I think the main thing is like just how well it feels and how well it plays. So you can see Fist of Fury is like crucial, but like Slicing Winds just does so much now, and Gale Force, like Gale Force is now so important, and that's why it's always like Strike of the Windlord and then Slicing Winds, and never the other way around. It's a really like minute thing, but it makes a big difference because if you Strike of the Windlord first and then Slicing Winds, you get the extended Heart of the Jade Serpent from the Slicing Winds, because this one's 8 seconds long. So that basically lasts for the entirety of Gale Force. You also get the Slicing Winds damage. So you're basically getting as much value from Gale Force, whereas if you did it the other way around, I mean, you still get the time on it, but you're losing the Slicing Winds damage. And the Slicing Winds damage is like, you can see how much Slicing Winds does, right? And that's adding itself into Gale Force. It needs to be done in that order, essentially. Like, it's such a minute thing that you will just do it, but you do lose damage if you do it the other way around. Oh, these guys want to try out Echo, whatever it's called. I'm gonna go grab a key then, whilst I do that. Yeah, like, it's funny, because if any of you are on the PTR, that's all, and you played, like, the other version of Conduit, the other version of the tier set from, like, literally yesterday, the day before, like, this just feels so much nicer. Just the fact that you can line up with your 1 minute 30 so much more cleanly, the fact you can stack these two now nicely, like, it felt like a lot of a chore to constantly keep the Heart of the Jade Serpent buff up. So I find I don't have, like, once I press these two together, all I have to focus on is Fist of Fury, where previously I was focusing on Strike of the Windlord, and then Slicing Winds to make sure I got them at perfectly timed times to keep the duration going. And it felt like micromanaging was a lot higher outside of cooldowns as well. Whereas once I've sent these two, I know I can forget about them for about 18 seconds. I turn my focus to Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick, you know? DK's 15 eye levels above you. It doesn't matter what the eye level is. We'll all be scaled for the dungeon. Everybody gets scaled to the same eye level. So we're 710 there. On PTR, you will just get scaled to, depending on what Blizzard think your eye level should be for this content. Can we stack Jade Serpent again? We can indeed. We can indeed. 0.1 second Fist of Furies. Yahoo! These fists are truly furious. Yeah, no, it's huge. But I just wish that they mentioned it in the patch notes and stuff, because, like, I mean, I suppose, like, if you don't care about the PTR and stuff, it doesn't matter till it comes up. If you're, like, interested in the PTR and stuff, like, all you would think that has happened to Windwalker so far is that we had a Mystic Touch buff, and it was nerfed. And that's all you would have heard from Windwalker. Whereas there've been, like, so many behind the scenes nerfs, changes, buffs, like, to how our tier sets, like, work and stuff, but they're just not mentioned at all. Not even just in, like, just a passing developer note or something. So a lot of players will be like, essentially, like, Windwalker's had nothing this PTR, when actually we've had, they're fully fixated on our tier set. That is literally all they care about, I think. Oh, it needs to be a 12 Echo Dome. Yeah, they're fully fixated on our tier set and how it works, and that's literally all it looks like they're changing and stuff. I'd be disappointed if they reverse it back. I think if they reverse it back D tier spec. I think decent, like actually engaging, fun, decent spec if they don't reverse it. Like, if anything, like, if they think the damage is too high from this, let's say the damage ends up being absurdly high on this one in live, just nerf the damage. Just don't, please, this iteration of it. It's so much fun. It's so clean. It all works together. It doesn't feel clunky. The other version did just feel clunky at times. Like, I'd rather just take an aura damage nerf, like, but just keep it in this iteration of how the tier set works, please. Thank you. Now if they can fix Shadowpan again, I just don't know what they're doing with Shadowpan. I don't think they know what they're doing with Shadowpan, and that's the worst part. Like, it's why I'm not really touching Shadowpan today, because I just don't know what they're doing with it. It's so it's just so, like, at least if they mention in the patch notes, like, our intentions are to change Shadowpan to this, so at least you know what their idea is, so then you can, like, take that into account. No idea what version of Shadowpan's going live, or what they think they're doing with it. They haven't allowed any testing of this new one. That would suck the most, right? If they implement the nerf to this tier set, like finally implement it in the PTR, but they give you no time to test it, so then it goes to live and it sucks. Because if we're allowed to test it, I can show them that it sucks. You know, I can I can fetch them some data that quickly shows them that it fucking sucks. But they just won't let us they just won't let us do that. All right, we're just looking for a healer, and we've got our key.
I cannot use that.
I mean, I cannot use that. Yes, you can use that. Wait, why do I have an Arakara? Conduit better? True. Hey, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for the info and test for us, my goat. Thank you, Crit Beats for all. That's really, really kind of you. You didn't have to, but thank you. That's so kind. I'm glad that all the testing and stuff helps. I mean, the idea is obviously another big guide, as you can probably expect. Although I don't think it'll be that crazy this time. Like, last season, there was a lot of changes. This season, there've been a lot of changes, but they've been, like, all around the tier set, which I just said, right? So, like, realistically, if I was, like, if I had to make my guide today, and this was live, it would cover Vivacious Vivification and our tier sets. Like last season, there was so much, right? Like how, like, Heart of the Jade Serpent had been introduced, how the cycle had changed, all this jazz here and there. Whereas all that's, like, kind of known now. Like, we've played for a season with that. So maybe it won't be an hour long. I don't know. Wait until we get to the rotation, actually. That will be something crazy. But yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. That's really, really kind of you. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, we got our group. We're doing Echo Dome. Fucking Echo Dome Aldani. I did this on release day on the PTR, so I am familiar with this dungeon. I think it's a decent dungeon. There's just not a lot of trash, which is okay. I think it's gonna be one of those dungeons that isn't a high damage dungeon, similar to, like, your Theater of Pains or your Rookeries, kind of, you know, where there's a decent amount of trash, but it's not, like, anything crazy. It's not your Priories, it's not your Cinderbrew. But I think it's an okay dungeon overall from what I remember. I don't know if they've changed anything. I thought the bosses were okay. I thought the second boss didn't do much. I think the first boss is fine. You actually get good Ring of Peace value on this boss, and the last boss I think is actually quite cool and engaging and requires you to actually use your brain. The second boss I thought kind of just didn't do anything. It's just stand behind the boss. Lol. But overall, cool dungeon. I don't mind it. Oh, there are some annoying trash packs, actually, and you've got the worm from June that comes and eats you if you take the wrong pathing. I would love to see Mystic Touch change, because our raid buff is only viable for physical comp. Yeah, I don't think they're going to put it back up to 8, to be honest. I think that they put it to 8. The community backlash was, like, enough that they just reversed it back. I don't think they'll mess around with it again, to be honest. Which is okay, I guess. Like, I can see the argument where it's like classes get, or someone said earlier, you know, specs get tuned based on this buff that another spec's giving you. Which is fair, and you never want your spec to get, like, buffed or nerfed based on something like that. That does suck. But once again, physical comps I think are so niche that it would be nice to give something like a little bit of incentive to say, hey, look, you're going to get even more damage with this physical comps. If you're a physical comp enjoyer, you might actually have a decent season. Like, because you see a lot of physical comps rising at the latter half of this season, like season 2. Like, there were a lot of, like popping up. I think, like, after the MDI and stuff, like, people saw the physical god comp and, like, how successful they were. And then a lot of, like, versions of it, like, started appearing. I just think some incentive would be good, because no one wants, like, the same M+ comp for, like, 2 or 3 seasons in a row, right? It's a little, like... I don't even care if Windwalker's not part of it. Just don't make it so that every dungeon I have to queue up to is Vengeance, Demon Hunter, Mage, Boomy again. Oh, just something different, you know? Why can't we get wild with it? Why can't we get wacky with it, you know? Like, you know, what? Holy Paladin, Shadow Priest, Blood DK, Survival Hunter, Feral Druid. No, Ellie Druid. No, wait, that's not a thing. Ellie Shaman. So something freaky like that, you know? Like, that could be cool. Just something different. But it will still be Vengeance Demon Hunter. It's just too good. And I think a lot of the time it falls back to the changes that they do with kicks and stuff. The fact that, like, now, like, you know, kicks, interrupts no longer, like, classifies kicks and stuff like that. That was, like, a big change. And that, it's funny because the idea was to make it so that you didn't have to rely on hard CC as much anymore. But you know what it did? It did the exact opposite. It made it so you relied on hard CC even more. If anything, I think they should revert that. I think that was an awful change. Or maybe not even that, just tweak it a little bit where hard CC, sure, it doesn't do it, but at least make it so that my kick, if I interrupt something with a kick, it should never start insta-casting again. Think about Rookery, yeah? You know the trash pack in Rookery? Those little guys that zap you? Nothing feels worse than, you know, kicking something and it's as if your kick was meaningless. And, like, it's a race against time between you and them. Can you CC them enough before you die? Or do you just die? Like, I don't know. If they could change that, that'd be cool. But until something changes there, I can't see that sort of comp changing too much. I didn't change anything on the mouse, by the way, so... Oh god, what's this? Why is there stuff on the floor? Oh, that's bad. Noted. Stuff on the floor, don't stand in it. Alright, so far so good. Oh, we got some secret pathing. What, can you run past these? Oh my god, we got shortcuts and skips and tricks already. Welcome to the new season. What the heck is this? What's Yoda been cooking something? What? What is this? What, do you pull these into the boss then? That's interesting. My cooldowns kind of line up a little bit. Ah, it's a little bit awkward actually. I forget how you do this boss. Oh my god, so many trash packs. In fact, I'm going to pop cooldowns here because this is the most trash I'm going to get for a while. That doesn't look good. Oh, I see. That puts bad stuff on the floor. We don't want that. Sorry, guys. It's been a while. Alright, and now we have cooldowns up. And we are going to send here. Probably don't want to stand in the gunk. Ow. Oh my god. I feel like there's way more trash than when I first did this dungeon. Am I crazy? They increased the trash on this boss? This is loads. Oh, now he's doing his sucky thing. Like, I swear he did his sucky thing, like, way sooner before. I can try get these guys. Oh, good grip from the DK. I was going to ring a piece it, but he has it covered. Oh! Oh! No! Oh, classic. Oh, I saw it happening as well. Like, I whirling dragon punched and I like saw how close I was. I knew. I knew. Alright, I don't know if they changed this boss or not, but it feels a lot less obnoxious. Like, previously it felt like he did the sucking thing a lot more often. Maybe it was just a short fight. It was only 2 minutes. It felt like he did it twice, though, previously. Like, very quickly. So more ads, less sucky. I think that's fine. Don't Whirling Dragon Punch next to the suck. Noted. You fuck up your rotation a lot when you panic? What the hell? In my defense, a lot of my buttons are not pressing. I need to reset my mouse. It sounds like an excuse. Trust me, bro, it's not. What is this? But not wrong. I pulled these. No, I didn't. I'm based. No, stop. Get back. You're stealing my pad. That's my secret, Cap. I'm always panicking. Oh, please let me press this Tiger Palm. Please. Oh. You can actually probably see it. You'll see me spamming one with this little cat that I've got now. You ever see me spamming one like 10 times in a row? It's because my Tiger Palm is just not triggering. So DK is like... It looks like their burst is absolutely, like, insane. But they fall off pretty hard. Like, he was on, like, 20 million there, and then he drops off. So it's like a... It's like big initial, but actually it's all fake. My source? Trust me, bro. I don't think I've ever played DK in my life, but I can already tell that's how it works. Oh, please Tiger Palm! I'm going to sand again, because 13 seconds. I don't think you want to sand on the purple stuff. Probably didn't want to... Oh my god. Am I dead? I need heal. I don't think I'm beating the DK on this one. Everything's just cooked. I do love the cat. I think the cat's good. I was literally just I was scrolling on Reddit, as you do, you know, as everybody does these days. And someone like there was just a thing on Reddit, and someone was like, "How do I get this cat?" And I was like, "Whoa, that cat's pretty cool." And I was like, "How do I get that cat?" And then I just installed the cat, and now he's there, and he's so happy. Look at him. And apparently you can like change his model and stuff, but knowing me, I'd end up bricking it. But if I could put like a little Windwalker hat on him, that'd be cool. Bro, we're doing like elite. Okay, we're doing skips and stuff. Holy shit. I do find it interesting though when people test out these things on the PTR because they are worth knowing. That's a clever skip because these Sentinels are horrendous. And I remember week 1, you just ran. You just ran through this dungeon pulling everything. So we've done some cool skips here at the entrance. We've done a cool skip with a Sentinel. I'm actually, yeah, pretty cool. Once again, you're going to need a Night Elf. Or one of those special potions. I have no idea what the purple circle around me is, but it sounds like not my problem. Where are these things dashing? Hello, Tiger Palm? Huh? Get the cat Azuin plushie. There's one plushie on his desk. That's a good one. Find me a model of Azuin plushie. Zwan. I prefer saying Zwan. Fuck it. I'll say it. I say what I want. It just rolls off the tongue better. Okay, now all my buttons aren't working. Trust me, that's why I'm not doing damage. Go back to the Priory. Rewatch the Priory. I do damage. Trust. Also, I Storm Earth and fired there. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. Hey, sir, long time no see. Monk seems pretty okay season 3. Happy to see. Yeah, you've joined at the right time. If you watched any other stream, you'd be like, Monk's not looking good. To be honest, I still don't think we're looking amazing. Like, and I think if you asked a lot of Windwalkers, they would also say the same thing. But I don't think we're looking bad. But it's crazy how, like, how such a small change, like, to how a tier set interacts, changes, like, how much damage you do. Like, not even, like, the raw damage of that tier set, right? Like, no damage has been changed on it, nothing like that. But it's just how did the heart windows interact together? And if they don't, well, then it sucks. And they do, well, it's just crazy. But I think the damage is fine. Like, if they keep it how it is, my only big worry is just that I think there'll be a disparity between Shadowpan and Conduit. And I mean, I think maybe it comes from the idea that we had it really good last season, where, like, you could play Conduit, you could play Shadowpan in dungeons. But I'm under the impression right now that it feels like it will just be a Conduit tier for the majority of things. I'd love to be proven wrong, by the way. Like, I loved season 2. Like, even though, like, we fell off really hard eventually in, like, raid and stuff, I love the fact that I could tell, like, people would ask, what can I play in M+, and the best response is, you can play whatever you want, and you can play, like, 4 different builds if you like to. Like, that's such a, like, cool response to have, like, something like that. Just being able to, like, say, you don't just have to play this one thing. Like, if you want to mess around with Shadowpan, you're not trolling, and it'll do good damage, and you probably get more from Conduit, more out of it than Conduit at times. It's just a cool thing. I think, like, if you have all these, like, hero talents and stuff, like, it sucks when one of them's bad. It's like season 1, right? Season 1 is a perfect example of it. Conduit sucked until the very end of the tier when people, like, finally started to understand it and, like, it actually became semi-decent. Like, until then, it was Shadowpan. You played Shadowpan for all content, and it was kind of troll, especially in M+. If you played Conduit in M+, you were low-key trolling. It was only semi-decent in raid. So, like, it wouldn't be the end of the world if it's just a Conduit one, because I think Conduit's probably the more enjoyable spec to play, a bit more engaging, got a bit more going for it. But I'd love it to be like a double hero talent season again. I think it's practically, what the hell is this, a javelin? Get that shit off of me. I think if Shadowpan stays the way it is, I can see it getting, like, a numbers buff. And that might bring it back for M+. I don't know, it's such a weird one in the sense that, like, you'd think to yourself, Flurry Strikes is, like, Shadow Flurry Strikes uncapped AoE. That is insane. And that's how I went into this PTR cycle. I was like, oh my god, uncapped Flurry Strikes all the time, hitting, like, 20 targets on a massive pull. You're going to do, like, 50 million damage. But it just doesn't work out like that. It just doesn't do that damage that I think it was going to do. So that was a little bit disappointing, I think. I don't think it'll be bad. Oh, please. Don't make me be the one to pull it. What are we doing here? Just this? Just this? Cool. Oh, Slicing Winds into the rock. Awesome. Wait, where are we going? Sir, where are you going? Oh, I see. Woo! Yeah, I've definitely played playing this dungeon a bit worse than the Priory. But even, like, ow, even playing it, like, worse, still the damage isn't bad. Like, think about it like this, right? Tuning isn't just for your spec. Like, a lot of people, and, like, you can get tunnel vision from it, where you'll fixate on the fact that, let's say, Windwalker hasn't been buffed for weeks, or you haven't been mentioned on the PTR. Like, Windwalker's a great example because we haven't, right? And that sucks, but then you have to take into account the tuning of the specs, right? It's like, if other specs look like they're amazing at the moment, you've watched, like, this YouTuber's tier list where they put this spec at, like, S++ and Windwalker's down in D tier. But then Blizzard then nerfed that spec 2 or 3 weeks in a row, like slowly but surely. It's just because it's overtuned on the PTR, and it's super easy to get baited by that. So like, BM Hunter was an amazing one, right? Anytime I saw a BM Hunter, they schooled me. I did no damage. I couldn't even compete with them. It was horrendously like embarrassing. They've been nerfed 2 weeks in a row to the point where they say that they're unplayable and gutted. What that really means is they're balanced, right? You know what I mean? Like when your spec gets nerfed on the PTR and you're like every player just like loses their minds. It's over, boys. We no longer do 1 billion damage on full. Like, no, what you mean is that you're just not broken anymore. So, like, as long as like classes like Frost DK, you know, they get nerfed. 12% is a massive, by the way. Like 12% like ability loss on damage is huge, and that's just ludicrous. I don't think there'll be any more like hugely massive ones like that anymore. I don't think like any specs are like crazily broken. It's like Boomies as well. Boomies were insanely broken a couple of weeks ago. What did they do? They nerfed their Forset. Boomies are fucking bad now. Not bad, but they're normal, you know? You know what I mean? And they're not busted. Also, to note in this dungeon, because I am here to show you some stuff in these dungeons, if you get this purple circle around you, could not tell you for the life of me what it does. You can just remove it with diffuse magic, which is almost better than not knowing what it does. You don't have to care what it does. You just removed it. It does nothing. Now, do you reflect it back? No. No. But it does remove it, and that's all that matters. Can't get into PTR, infinite loading screen. Do you have any solution? Oh, I'm not sure. The only time we had like, I've had like massive loading screen issues with the PTR was when everyone was trying to log into it the other week, but I don't think that'll be the case. It's actually kind of dead right now. Potentially, I would suggest, and it's a sucky suggestion, maybe reinstalling it. The only reason it's not too bad a suggestion is that it's actually not that big a file, is it? Because they only load in so much content. It's only like a few. I want to say it's like 10 gigs. It's actually not that bad. But infinite loading screen just sounds like it's not loading the... Obviously not loading the game, right? I don't have a fix, though. That's the only thing I can think of. When in doubt, turn it off and on. Sorry. Also, for any of you that are keen-eyed, I've completely desynced all of my cooldowns, because I've just gone on a complete yapathon for this dungeon. My conduit is completely desynced from my Zuin. My Storm Earth and Fires are just... Yep. This dungeon is not a showcase of how Windwalker's playing right now. This is just me just yapping to myself. But the damage is still fine. The damage is still fine. I'm still happy with 6 million here. Like, it's not that bad. We are so bad. Oh, man. Windwalker haters and shambles. Oh, is it even worth doing these? I found on my initial testing these were pointless. They've increased how fast you get it, and they've increased the duration. Right, okay. This used to be like 10 seconds. Right, okay, it is worth getting now. Like, when this dungeon came out, there was the most troll thing to grab one of those things, because it lasted 10 seconds, which meant by the time that you'd got the buff and got to the next pack, it was gone. Now that it's 30 seconds, actually useful. Oh, please. I don't know if I remember how this boss works. Basically, you have to collect your souls, and if you don't collect your souls, you are dead. Not dead, you just get massive debuff, which is worse than death, doing no damage. Have the same thing, can't load PTR, done the scan and fix, remove cache and WTF folders, reinstalled PTR, updated. Oh, so it's multiple, not just, so it's multiple people having the problem. Potentially... Sounds like a cop-out answer, but if you... Like, if I ever have issues like this, my first go is Reddit. So I guarantee if there's, like, at least 2 people here that have had the issue, then there'll be more. It might be worth looking on, like, a forum or something, see if there's a fix. If it's, like, an actual, like global issue, Blizzard do actually sort it out, though. I need to grab this! I can't. I'm debuffed. GG. I now have haste reduced by 30% because I am slowing the brain. That's kind of cool, right? What the hell is this? Oh, my soul. I grabbed my soul. We're good. Did I? I grabbed one of them. There weren't more, were there? There weren't more souls, were there? Oh, grab it. That's what I mean. You need to grab your soul. And then you actually get a buff from it. So, you know, it's the opposite of a debuff. Yeah. And then it does the crazy ability. Yeah, this is the crazy one where you have like 3 souls and you need to collect them all. You don't have to collect them all instantly. But it'll go around the room doing these things. Any of them hiss it, then your soul's kind of like, you get the debuff. They stack. So I actually think it's probably better to delay them. I don't know, I'm sure there'll be some super way to min-max this boss, for sure. Oh, Tiger Bomb, please. Please. Where's my soul? Yoink. I looked into the forums, people on the same issue but no fix. Oh, it's one of those. There's not... There is nothing worse than having a problem and then finding something that says, oh, we also have this problem, but there's no solution. It might be worth going, yeah, notifying Blizzard of it. Because if it's multiple people, then it'll be a PTR thing. 'Cause the other day, before raid testing, they had they actually had like literally the same issue where people couldn't get into the game. Like, I guess they're the same issue, right? They couldn't load up their loading screens. Like, they'd get bricked out, basically. So what Blizzard did, they had to restart the entire servers 5 minutes before the Mythic PCR testing so that people could actually get in the game. So it's not like the first instance of it I've heard, where it's been an issue. But I haven't experienced it myself, so I haven't had to look for a fix. But it sounds like it's probably a PCR thing, more than anything. Have you tried different characters? Potentially it could be your character. Sounds like pretty long shot, but... Do we ever press Blackout Kick now, or is there a reason you aren't pressing it? No, so the idea of this build is that you're not really ever meant to press it. So you've essentially dropped all the talents from it to give it any damage whatsoever or get any benefit from it. And the idea is that because you've got so much haste now, you're basically constantly sat at... Well, I'm constantly sat at like 40% haste. This will be more probably on live. I never have time. Like, basically, by the time that you Fist of Fury Rising Sun kicked, you basically Fist of Fury is about to come off cooldown again, and you need the chi to generate it, so you just use Tiger Palm. The only times I do find that I will Blackout Kick, but really the only times I ever press it are if it is a free Blackout Kick and I'm using it as a filler, or if I have to press it to get a Fist of Fury, like I'm on 2 chi, I need to get to 3, but I can't double Tiger Palm sort of jazz. So like, in that dungeon, 20 times, right? There's a great representation of how many times I actually press Blackout Kick, right? I press it 20 times the entire dungeon. 1, because it does no damage. 2, just because there's no point really where you need to press it anymore. It's why this build became a thing. Because before you'd still have all these talents, but it was worked out that because of how the tier set works and stuff, is that you actually just lost so much value from pressing Blackout Kick that it made more sense to put points into abilities that just benefited Fist of Fury or your haste windows and such. So yeah, it feels weird not having Blackout Kick, which is my 6 button. That's why you probably never see me press this button. What's my shift 6?
I cannot attack that target.
I've forgotten. I should know that. What's my shift 6? But yeah, that's the idea. There are like other builds that still use Blackout Kick, but I think they're more single target focused. Like, I was trying this one out in built with Raid, which has a tiny little bit more Blackout Kick focus. But even then, I'm not pressing it that much. So Conduit will feel different in that regard, right? And it took me a while to get used to, but essentially, yeah, Blackout Kick it's not a button that you take off your action bars, because you still need to press it sometimes. But it's just so unimpactful that it's just not worth ever taking talents for it now. But you still play it in Shadowpan. Shadowpan still runs like Blackout Kick talents and stuff. It still has a niche there. Like, look at damage breakdown. So, I played awfully this dungeon. Damage is still alright. But once again, a good representation, right? You can just see how much damage now Slicing Winds is doing again. Slicing Winds is now such a big carry of your damage. Like previously, when this change, when Conduit was in its second iteration of tier set changes, Slicing Winds would be down here, fighting with Gale Force. It kind of felt like such a weak button. But now, because you're pressing it all the time, you're essentially pressing Slicing Winds every 18 seconds, is the idea of it, and sometimes even shorter than that. Similar to Strike of the Windlord, you're pressing them like roughly every 18 seconds. You cast this so many times. I wish I could see how many times I cast it. It's a question mark, which is a little bit annoying. Because it's an empower ability. But Fist of Fury, for instance, right? I pressed this 111 times. Like, just think about that, right? In not a very long dungeon either. 111 Fist of Furies. Like, that's more than Spinning Crane Kick. I pressed it more than Strike of the Windlord. Well, I guess that makes sense. Where's Rising Sun Kick? More than Rising Sun Kick. More Fist of Furies than Rising Sun Kicks, right? So the idea is that you're pressing Fist of Fury the most out of any button. But besides Tiger Palm, right? Tiger Palm's going to be like, what, 200? Yeah, 212. So that's why it's so like Fist of Fury centric now, and why you have basically no time to be pressing stuff like Blackout Kick, for instance. It just doesn't fit. Like, it even feels at times that there's no time to press Whirling Dragon Punch and Spinning Crane Kick. It feels weird. But I still think the Spinning Crane Kick build is going to be better for M+, because you still just do so much damage with Spinning Crane Kick still. If you drop Reverving Whirl, I feel like the issue I find with switching to this build is I do find that at times you do feel a little bit starved on filler buttons. Because there are still periods where you do have filler buttons, but your filler buttons is basically like Spinning Crane Kick, right? With Chi-Ji or a Whirling Dragon Punch here and there. But I find this one, I don't know, it just doesn't stick with me as much. Like, it feels a little bit clunky that at times, like, I just feel like I've got nothing to press in between Tiger Palms, if that makes sense. Still a good build, though. But I think this is probably better for the raid. Feels wrong, though, because it's always been a cool part of a rotation. Yeah, I mean, it'll be similar to Slicing Winds, right? Where it felt weird initially to use Slicing Winds when it became an ability in Season 2. But, like, once you just stop pressing Blackout Kick, you actually... you're focusing... like, you won't even notice that you're not pressing Blackout Kick. Like, I didn't even notice that I pressed it 20 times there, which is absolutely none. Because you're so focused on just getting Fist of Furies out. Like, you're completely fixated on Fist of Fury and Rising Sun Kick. It doesn't feel too bad, but it is something like a habit you do have to get break. It's like, I remember, like, practicing on dummies initially, and I'd just Blackout Kick because it's a button I'd press. Like, even when it's on 2 stacks of Blackout Kick, I don't press it because I don't need to, if that makes sense. Like, pressing Blackout Kick is 0 damage. It is literally just a filler if there's no filler elsewhere. It doesn't actually feel that bad to not have to press it. But in Shadowpan, you still use this button. It's still a proper rotational button. And no more lightning either. I mean, once again, Shadowpan, the issue is that what do you switch out? Like, you see the issue, you're basically essentially looking for 4 talent nodes. I can give you one, Rising Star. Rising Star would be my first one I'd drop out. Then you basically essentially got to pick 3 that you're dropping. Inner Peace is crazy to drop, but if you're going Energy Burst, maybe you drop it. But Energy Burst is horrendous. Like, 'cause you don't want to be Blackout Kicking. Unless you see what I mean? Like, it becomes so awkward. You'd have to drop Zuin's Battle Gear. You'd have to drop that, and you probably have to drop Fury of Zuin. And then you've lost tons of Fist of Fury damage. You've lost cooldown. So I feel like it's going to be really difficult to play Lightning with Conduit next tier. Like, practically not a thing. It would have to be a really wacky build to get it going. So you'd be stealing from... The essential core of Conduit is to play Fist of Fury and constantly Fist of Fury. Anything that helps you get this on cooldown, get it back up, gives it damage. That is the idea. But there's a lot of raid bosses where Lightning's not too bad. Like, Lightning is good on the 3 Demon Hunters. Lightning is good on Forge Master, and Lightning is good on Soulbinder. So, how do you do that then? Well, a lot of the time I played Shadowpan for that sort of thing. Because I think Shadowpan and raid's actually not too bad. especially lightning. Like lightning is just so strong in raid. Like it feels like lightning is like kind of mid in M plus, and it kind of is. But in a raid situation where you don't actually have that many targets and it's not like constant cleave fights and stuff like that, a lightning can go such a long way on your damage meters and stuff for carrying. Soulbinder was an amazing example because it constantly like brings up these ad spawns. So most of the time you're either hitting 3 targets or 5 throughout the fight, and it's just crazy damage. So I feel like if you want to play lightning right now, I don't think it can be through conduit. I'd be very surprised if there's a viable lightning build. Not impossible, but I just think you'd be shooting yourself in the foot to give up all of these to do that. This is the old build, right? This is essentially the old build, more or less. Where more or less, you know, you switch out something like for shadowboxing treads or something. Roughly the old build, but now it's a lot more central. But lightning still has its place in Shadowpan, but I feel like it's a lot more focused on making sure you have external buffs. Like, I find that to send out a lightning with Shadowpan now, I'm never doing it unless I've got 20 stacks of against all odds. Because having 20 stacks of against all odds is just so vital for damage amplifiers and stuff. So a lot of the time, even if I'm at 20 stacks of Crackling Jade Lightning, if there aren't enough targets and I'm not at 20 stacks, I'm not satisfied enough to send it. I'll just hold it for like upwards of like 10 seconds or so, just to guarantee I get the big hit from it. Is that the correct thing to do? I'd probably say it is, to be honest. I think it's so important. So I find a lot of the time I always line up a Crackling Jade Lightning with a Storm Earth and Fire, for instance, to allow me to do that. But that's a completely other topic on Shadowpan. We used Lightning a lot in Liberation of Undermine. Yeah, we did use Lightning a lot in Liberation of Undermine, but at that point, like, we still didn't have a lot of Fist of Fury is still a good amount of damage, but it wasn't strong enough to take things like Zuin's Battle Gear, right? And you would never take Rising Star because you never. Basically, in Liberation, we never wanted a Rising Sun Kick, right? It just had no value. So Rising Sun Kick was basically a Whirling Dragon Punch activator. Whereas now, Rising Sun Kick is a Fist of Fury activator, and we love sending out Fist of Fury. So you were able to get away with dropping those two. And then you didn't run Inner Peace because you ran Energy Burst, and Blackout was actually useful. And then you would generally drop Fury of Zuin, wouldn't you? Or you just wouldn't take Slicing Winds. And this is where the big one comes in. You have to take Slicing Winds. So this node is non-negotiable now. Whereas previously you had the option of like maybe going Transfer the Power, you know, not taking Slicing Winds to go Lightning. This was like a pretty common Vexy build. Now you have to take this. You cannot play Conduit without Slicing Winds. So you've essentially lost one of the nodes that allowed you to give you some like leeway on this. If that kind of makes sense. What is this stealth change for Windwalker? Hold on, I'll bring up the log. No, did I delete it? No! Why am I like this? Oh, why am I like this? Basically, we just do, they made it so that Conduit, now, the Slicing Winds, the Heart of the J Serpent's stack, essentially, they nerfed it in a previous PTR iteration, like past 2 weeks, where essentially they didn't stack anymore, so it felt a lot clunkier, as well as that, lining up 1 minute 30s and stuff felt really awkward as well. And it was less damage, obviously, because you're not stacking up cooldown reduction buffs and whatnot. Now, it feels really good. Your 1 minute 30s line up at pretty much 1 minute 30. You're getting massive burst windows by lining up Strike of the Windlord and Slicing Winds together. Fist of Furies really feels good. It just feels really, like, it synergizes really well. It's why, like, if I had to take a damage loss, I'd take a damage loss over them changing the tier set again. Because if it, like, feels... If you're in raid and you have 1 minute 30s, like, it's just one part of the problem, but you have 1 minute 30s and you're having to delay them to like 1 minute 40, not because of a mechanic or anything, but because you cannot hold Strike of the Windlord for, like, you cannot, like, convince yourself to hold this ability for upwards of like 20 seconds anymore. Like, it's just not, it's not allowed. So you'd end up delaying your cooldowns every time, and because of this, I found a lot in the PTR testing that if we downed a boss at like 4 minutes 40 or 4 minutes 45, I would have lost an entire cooldown cycle, right? Because 4 minutes 30 is like the third time we'd send out our cooldowns. Math, wait. Fourth time we'd send out our cooldowns, right? So, like, you run into those situations where you essentially lost an entire burst window because you had to delay your cooldowns by 10 seconds every time because you can't justify not sending these two out. But now because you can send them out at the same time, and their cooldown is essentially 18 seconds together, it just lines up perfectly because of how the stacking works of it. TLDR feels really clean, real fun, more damage, better gameplay, Shadow Pan and Shambles. Yeah, and none of it was mentioned on the PTR notes because shit, not shit, not Blizzard's problem, I guess. Also worth noting, and this is kind of a big one, and I don't know if any other people on the PTR have noticed this. I have not had a conduit cancel on the PTR. I've not had a spinning crane kick cancel on the PTR this cycle. I don't know if it's just a me thing, and I've got incredibly lucky so far. But I was saying at day one that it hadn't happened to me yet, and I changed my mind the moment it happened. But not a single time have I had a cancel so far. If any other Windwalkers have had a cancel, then it probably is going to still cancel, and I've just been lucky, right? Have you had a cancel to Slicing Winds? Not that I'm aware of. It could be the higher ping. It could be, but on the last PTR cycle, I also had cancels. Like, I remember running Cinderbrew Meadery and losing my mind when it happened. Like, I'm not saying it's gone, but until, like it's like Schrodinger's Celestial Conduit cancel, you know, until it happens to me, it's still in the box, you know, it's not possible. So I'm hoping that maybe they've sorted something out with it. Knowing my luck, it will cancel now. I press it here. Saved. Game saved. I'm like, I guarantee, I don't know. It's pretty optimistic because I'm just like a single person's like view on it. And like, if anyone else actually had it, like I went to the Monk Discord or something and I asked and someone said yes, then I'd say it's still broken, right? As long as one person has the issue, then it is still an issue, right? But just from my own personal testing, I have not had a cancel at all yet of any sort. Even with the higher ping, I'd always notice Celestial Conduit cancel. Trust me. Trust me, I would always notice a conduit. Maybe a spinning crane kick I wouldn't notice. I could get behind that, but I know when conduits cancel. I lose my mind when it happens. So that's kind of good because that would make Mythic funnily enough, that'd be a buff and M. That'd be a buff and M plus. That'd be an interesting buff. You can now do damage with your conduit. Is there still a bug with conduit where it doesn't give buff when casting after using conduit of the Celestial? No. So you can always, yeah, so that was patched halfway through the last season. So the bug at the moment in live is that it will cancel itself like after one tick or something. So like it's like a 3-second cast, isn't it? Like after like 0.5 seconds, it would cancel itself, and not let the full thing go through. The one where you had to, I remember I always used to say you had to double press it, right? So I'd say press conduit, and then make sure you press it again at 0.5 seconds to guarantee you get this buff. They fixed that one, so you never have to repress conduit, which is actually a really nice change. Like, it took me like half a week to get out of the habit of repressing it again because it was so ingrained in my head. But now you only have to press conduit once, and you'll always get the heart buff. Even if conduit on live servers cancels itself after 0.5 seconds or whatever, you still get the heart buff. So at least that, right? Silver linings. Yeah, until I personally experienced conduit cancel, they fixed it. Thank you, Blizzard. Your services are appreciated. And once I eventually see that it's broken again, fuck Blizzard. They suck. I was getting the bug where it wouldn't give me heart just last week on live. Really? Oh, shit. You should, mention that on Peak and stuff. So that should have been fixed. So that one was like, the one that they literally put in one of the patch notes that they fixed it, a few weeks ago. Now you've mentioned it, I feel like it's... I feel like I read somewhere that someone said it was like one of the theory crafters said it was like a 1 in 100 chance sort of thing, where it's like they fixed it, but you still get that low roll. Compared to what it was, though, I think it's better. But yeah, I'm just bamboozled that my conduit hasn't cancelled once, and I've run a lot of dungeons with conduit as well on the PTR, and dungeons is where it always cancels itself, right? No one knows what the cause is. So that would be really cool if they've eventually finally fixed that, because unironically, damage buff to Windwalker. Uh, like it sounds crazy, but the only time you're pressing conduit is during your big cooldowns, right? Which means you're getting amplification from Zuin, you're getting amplification from Gale Force. You're basically getting so much damage from this button, that when it cancels itself, you lose tons. And it also is a shock, right? Because you're like, I get to relax for 3 minutes. Oh shit, my cooldowns are back up. I've missed 2 GCDs because I'm screaming at my monitor. You know what I mean? Is that a vibe? But TLDR, I think Conduit's in a really good spot. I'm still very worried about Shadowpan though. I'd love them to just make their minds up with what they're doing. If they're gonna nerf it, just do it, right? Just fucking do it, please. Because then at least we know where we stand with it. So at least like testing can be done on it, and we can actually get an opinion and show them some data on it. Or just say, okay, we were gonna nerf it, but we realized that it's a stupid idea, which it is, and we'll keep it as it is. And then you can actually like fully test out the other one, and then you can, all the data that we've collected from like testing and stuff, we can like make some opinions and stuff. Oh my god, Golden Geeko? Golden Geeko? Thank you so much for the gifted sub. That's really kind of you. Wow. Great name, by the way. I also have a Golden Geeko at home. Well, no, it's a lizard gecko, but it is kind of gold. It's not really gold, it's like orange. Oh, thank you. That's really kind of you. I really appreciate that. You didn't have to, but thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you for all the follows, guys. There's been like tons of follows today and stuff. Like usually I do like shout out individually, but it seems like there've been so many recently that I can't individually shout you all out. Weird flex, but okay. You know what I mean though. So thank you all. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Say hello to Monk, the buggiest ninjas and all the WoW. It's not even as good as Mage Druid. Why nerf it? No, I know. It makes no sense to me. Let's see if there's any dungeons going, by the way. Oh my god. Guys, NA woke up and they want to play games. Guys, NA woke up and they want to play some WoW. Roll check? Oh shit, it's because I'm trying to join with this mage. Oh no! No, let me in! It was the perfect group. Where'd they go? Oh, they took someone else. Fuck. There is a 12th Priory, but I've just run a Priory. I'd like to at least do a Dawnbreaker. Wait, why don't I just make my own group? Yeah, right. That's what worked last time. Yeah, I'll just make my own group with Blackjack and Hookers. Also, I need to unplug my mouse and plug it back in. It's being well dodgy. Trust me, that's why I don't do damage. Is that my mouse? No, that is not my mouse. Is that my mouse? What is making that noise? Did I unplug my mouse?
I cannot attack them.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's what that noise is. It's Windows 11. Yeah, I upgraded to Windows 11. I had Windows 10, and I pretty much got forced to upgrade because they're going to make it redundant. And now it makes weird noises. It makes like a badong noise. Didn't do that on Windows 10. It's actually not so bad as I thought it was going to be, Windows 11. I'm just very set in my ways. Wait, did they re-nerf Mystic Touch? Yeah, so that is a change that was actually posted. I mean, I went over it a little bit earlier. Let's see if I can find it. What was I laughing about? I was laughing at the fact, like, I don't even care that they nerfed it. Like, whatever. like whatever, nerf it if you want to nerf it, sure. Where is it? See, the monk patch notes are so small that I can't even find them. Oh, here. Developers' notes is about like 5 lines longer than the change to monks this week, by the way. It's more the fact it was just community concern. And they didn't change it because of their own internal testing or anything. They literally just changed it because people didn't like it. That's just funny to me. Like, if it was like you found that there were like issues with it, and like I understand the arguments as well. Like I've had some people tell me like some of the reasons why they've nerfed it, like it means that like specs get buffed and nerfed depending on an external nerf buff or whatever, which is fine. But I just think it's funny how it's like community uproar. We've nerfed it. Please stop uproaring now. You reckon we can do that? Can we like what don't we like? Guys, I hate boomkins. Can we now say that I don't want them to do damage anymore? Go on the Twitters. Hashtag boomies. Stop. I don't know. Just shows how much people hate monks. Blizzard's trying to help the bully. I don't think people... I think it was just... I think the biggest argument for it is that, like, from what I've heard, is that people, like, essentially... because it's an 8% buff coming from a Windwalker... not even a Windwalker monk. Coming from a monk, right? That something like an outlaw rogue or a warrior might get buffs and nerfs depending... Like, Blizzard would take into account this external buff on them. And then, essentially, you know, buff or nerf accordingly. And I can see that argument. But on the downside, I like the idea of the physical comps, you know? Like, I like physical comps. I think they were on a bit of a rise. And I think it's fine to have a little bit of a shift up. Even if it... Like, don't get me wrong. Even if it's not Windwalker Monk, even if it's Mistweaver Monk in the meta comp, as long as it's a little bit of a shake-up, you know? Something different. I don't want to see purple, orange, blue, and red every time I queue up to a dungeon next tier. Sorry, sir. You're not red enough to be a DPS in this dungeon. What's that? You don't bring lust? You don't even bring an 8% raid? Get the fuck out of here. Life. People would take Brew or Mistweaver. Yeah, no, exactly. But at least, like, Monk would be Mesa in a Mesa comp, and that's kind of cool. But yeah, like, out of the 3 specs, it wouldn't be Windwalker that would be the one that would get into these groups. I think Mistweaver, is, from what I've heard, Mistweaver is the most likely candidate to be getting raid spots and dungeon spots at the moment. From what I've heard, Brewmasters are a little bit unsure about what's going on with Brewmaster. Not confident. Mistweavers just look good. Oh, they just look good. And Windwalker, we're getting there. Slow and steady. We're getting there, we'll be fine. Turn that to a Dawnbreaker, make it a +12, teleport to ye old donjon. I want to teleport to the Dawnbreaker, there we go. Brew most likely because it's sustain and raid. I don't know, to be honest. I don't think Brew is going to be main tank in raid. Maybe? Right now, I'm thinking... I think it would depend on the boss, to be fair. So I think it's going to be a 1 monk tier, which is... I know it's not what anyone wants to hear. It's not what I want to hear, to be honest. Can it be a 10 monk tier? No. It feels like it's going to be a 1 monk tier, and it will probably depend on the encounter. Like, for an encounter with, like, loads of trash packs, like Soul Reaver, Soul Binder, whatever it's called. I can see Mistweaver going nutty on that sort of thing. Maybe for like the first boss, something like that. Maybe not so much because of how much travel time there is and stuff. It depends what build you go though, because you can go the multiple. This guy just said Bloodlust the 2nd pack. Nobody tell him. Nobody, no one tell him. We don't have that here. Keep it 5, but then give it 8 for Windwalker in small groups. The issue of that is that you would just get... That would get even more backlash, you know what I mean? I think that would be even more hated, because then you're like, basically saying, if you want to go in this physical comp, you have to take this one. It'd be the same if like they gave it to Mistweaver, right? Or if they gave it to Brewmaster, they had the 8%. Then it's basically Blizzard saying that they want this spec to be the one that you play. I think that would just go down badly. I don't think it'd be fine. What's this guy got? 3%? He doesn't even have 5%. Alright, do I remember how this dungeon works? Not really. I'm top damage. Screenshot it. Flip it and ship it. But just don't look at the other specs that I'm playing with. Don't take that into account. That's not allowed. Yo, he's pulling away my cleave. Get back here. To be fair, I did pop my entire load on the trash pack before the big trash pack. Have they changed this dungeon? Is it the same? Is it really annoying? Annoying boat dungeon? I am gonna have to hold my cooldowns for a little bit. Oh, what the fuck was that? I am gonna have to hold them here. It's just because of how the ad pull timing lined up. It's not the end of the world, but it kind of sucks. And my mouse is still being weird. That's not good. Ah, my tank's dead. That's not good. That's not good. Wait, we're on the ship. Oh shit, this is not where I want. Wait, we're flying. What? How are we flying?
Be careful, outsider. Those aren't ours.
Where's my tank? What the fuck is going on here? I want to know how we started flying. I thought you had to kill, like, 2 commanders. Okay. Noted, noted. We fly now. I always like this dungeon, quick and easy mechanics. I like this dungeon. There was only one part I hated, really, and it was the... It was before the second boss, and it was that little tunnel where you had the big ad, and it would shoot out the orb, and no matter what, that's where every dungeon I ran went to die. Like, it was just... Oh my god, it was horrible. But they've actually nerfed that a little bit. I read, like, one change. I think they've nerfed the damage that it does. And I'm actually really happy about that change. Because, like, you do the dungeon, and once you'd, like, killed that, you pretty much almost finished the dungeon, right? Like, just 2 more bosses, whatever. But my dungeon would always go to die there. It would either get shot into the wall or would get the debuff. Something would just go wrong there. But, lo and behold, I think it's going to be fine now. Like, I never mind flying around stuff or the choose your own path. I always thought it was a relatively fine dungeon. Yo, bro, you got some Stygian seed. Also, that death has low-key desynced all my cooldowns. That's kind of cringe. Oh! The one thing you'll learn to hate, though, with this constant cooldown reduction buff and all that jazz, is if you actually get a full cast of Fist of Furies out, like we're talking like a proper Fist of Fury again, it feels horrible. It's only like 2 seconds, but it feels like the slowest thing you've ever pressed. Like, I used to not mind how long the channel time was on Fist of Fury because it gave me time to think about stuff, but now it feels so slow. I'm just like, please, let me play the game. If it's not 0.1 seconds, I don't want it. Like, even that one, even like the standard one is now less than a second. Oh, my mouse is so buggered. Please. Not again. Why didn't it fix itself? I unplugged it and then plugged it back in. That should work, right? Windows 11, I'm telling you. I need to downgrade back to Windows 10. I knew I shouldn't have upgraded. Also, I'm not sending out my cooldowns here. There's just not enough trash packs, but I am just going to send out, like, mini burst windows here. Like, maybe there's a world where I should have sent out cooldowns here, but it feels awful on, like, 2 targets that are pretty much dead and 1 target which is... Nah, I think it's fine. Like, I said it a few times, but for anyone that's, like, only just started watching, like, in the past, like, I don't know, half an hour. Essentially, you strike of the Windlord and Slicing Winds now, outside of cooldowns, and they're on roughly an 18-second cooldown. So now, like, a mini heart window. This is now what I'm going to refer to as a mini heart window. I will now, like, mini heart window, essentially, if I Like, if my cooldowns are up, I'll mini heart window if I believe there's like 18 seconds between this and the next pack. Like, that's my like rough estimate. Whereas before, it was like, what, 25 seconds? Like, that's how long like a Strike of the Windlord was in... Oh no, I did the wrong way around. Cringe. Oh, please. It's actually bothering me now that my Tiger Farm's saying going how I want it to. This tank is on death's door. Oh. When I say he's on death's door, I mean he's actually dead. He's seeing death right now. Do these things hit hard? Well, I can tank this. It's fine. Look at me. I am the tank now. Abandon instance? We just got here. What you... Why are we voting to abandon the instance? We just started. Why is this a plus 14? Why are we voting? No! No, I'm holding you hostage. Welcome to the new Mythic Plus experience, where if I don't want these guys to abandon my instance, we're not... Well, that's fucking bullshit. Oh, I needed an ally. I needed at least one person to vote no. Oh, it's League of Legends all over again. They FF'd my fucking dungeon. Is this hopeful? Is that the real hopeful? Probably not. What? It's actually League of Legends now. They just FF'd my dungeon. They can just do this. People can just FF my dungeon. What if it's like... It's gonna be like your old promo games, right? When remember when you had like a promo game and you're like sweating, playing out your goddamn mind because you know it's so important. It's your last one to like progress to, I don't know, Silver 2 or some shit, but it's important to you, right? It's important. And then 4 people can just FF. These guys just kicked me out my own dungeon. They just FF'd and that was it. I have no say. Oh, that's so... that's so bad. I mean, on the other end, you can just leave it, right? I suppose. People could just leave a dungeon previously, so I guess that was always a thing. But I guess if someone left your dungeon that was like, let's say another DPS just left because they were angry, you could potentially still finish the dungeon. If they vote FF, you just get transported out. That's it. Good luck. Go next time. In that case, is your key depleted to 13? Yeah, essentially, yeah. My key, yeah. Obviously, because of the PTR, not how it works. But yeah, essentially, now I'd have a 13 key. And I'd be fuming. I'd be losing my mind. Because why did we FF that dungeon? We had 7 deaths. It was fine. It's only a Dawnbreaker 14. We can time that. Easy. I can see this feature, like, I get why they've done it, and I think it's a good feature. But just like League of Legends, it's going to be toxic as fuck. Like, if you can see, look at this already. You're going to search for groups, and this is all you're going to see. You see these little red triangles? This is your mark when you get Keystone Deserter. Dungeons, that so many players are going to have this next season on live servers. Like, you're going to see this all the time. Dungeon Deserter, Dungeon Deserter. This guy's left a dungeon. This is a Dungeon Deserter. And you'll invite them to the group, and then they'll like try to justify why they left the dungeon. My DPS were trolling. My healer was AFK. And then you know exactly what's going to happen. It'll be the Demon Hunter tank, and he'll run in first pack, wipe, leave. And you'll be like, ah, I get it now. I get it now. You're going to have... Oh... Overall, it's a good system. Like, it's a fine thing to be in the game. It's just, I just, like, know from playing League of Legends that surrender voting and stuff is just, it's so toxic. People will just hold you hostage. Like, that's exactly what they'll do. I think the other way around is going to be the worst one. Because no one's going to want the Keystone Deserter. So if an FF vote is thrown up, but they're pissed because they wanted to time this dungeon, they will just vote no. And if at least one other person votes no, you are held hostage in that dungeon. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. But overall, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Running down the dungeon mid lane into FF15 feels bad, man. It's even worse because that was like an FF5. I'm pretty sure you can like FF like pretty quickly. So what I'm trying to say is never do a dungeon with a 4 stat. Unless you yourself are in the 4 stat. Or, even better, always run a dungeon with at least a duo. Because then at least you guys can vote the same. That's my M+ tip for next season. Nothing Windwalker related. Either play as a 2-stack or don't invite a 4-stack. Don't have a friend? GG. Unlucky. How many does it take to get the mark? I'm not sure. Initially on the PTR, not many people had this, but I logged in the other day and now literally everyone has this. If I had to guess, I'm gonna say like probably 2 or 3, and then I think if you're like a good sport and you do your dungeons and you don't get like, if you don't leave and stuff, then it removes itself. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a 3. 3 seems like the usual number for something like this, right? I feel like 1 would be a bit harsh. Because, yeah. And I don't know how it works with getting kicked as well. I don't know if they thought that through. Because if someone's the leader and they want to, and they just kick you, then what happens? Do you get the dessert? Like, what? Am I the deserter then? Because they've kicked me from their... I don't know. Not my... That's Blizzard's problem. Let them deal with that. This will be the only issue in low keys. Nobody in high keys holds people... Yeah, no. You're right. No one in high keys are going to hold people hostage. But you get your weekly +10. And someone's just having a bad day. Someone's having a bad day. And you're just on your ult, you know? You're just smiling, playing on your ult, you know? You're so happy you just got into a key. You're gonna regret ever loading up the game. Yeah. That's gonna be it for me today. A little bit of a shorter one. Only like I don't even know how long, like 2.5 hours or so. But I'm quite busy at the moment IRL. I'm like house hunting and stuff, you know? Gotta go buy a house. Renting? In this economy? So I'm like house hunting a lot at the moment. Oh man, it's so difficult. They don't tell you this stuff in school. You know, you gotta like buy insurance for your insurance and you gotta go talk to a broker and it's, oh fucking, just let me go play WoW. Look, can I just play WoW? Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is I'm not going to be here tomorrow because I'm literally spending the entire day hunting houses IRL. Soon you'll be able to hunt houses in game. That'd be pretty cool, right? On Sunday, likely that'll be here. More PTR stuff. It'll be like more players as well. Although it's not been too bad actually. There've been a lot of players. And in the meantime, I'll try to fix my mouse and stuff. If there's anything to take away from today's stream, it's that. Like, this change to conduit's really, really good. Like, I cannot understate how happy I am that they reversed it back to this. Previously, I was coping when I was saying stuff like, you know, it's fine that we've lost damage. You know, the rotation plays better. What I didn't realize is that this plays even better and it gives us the damage. And it's not absurd damage. I'm still competing with the Death Knights. I'm still getting beaten by the Death Knights, but I'm not trolling. I'm not fighting with the tank anymore for damage. Shadowpan's a completely other story. We'll worry about that closer to the patch, but Blizzard, if you're watching this, which you're not, definitely just keep out as is. Give us an aura nerf. Just don't ruin how the tier set works. This is the best iteration they've come up with, and it's really engaging and fun, and it just feels like you're actually doing stuff, and like you're pressing your buttons and you're doing damage, and it just, yeah, it's like it's the best iteration. I don't think they could make it any better. Well, I mean, they could obviously make it better, but it's fine as it is. Yeah, everybody say goodbye to the cat. Meow. I can't open its mouth. I don't. Yeah. Am I gonna do Mop Classic? No, probably not. It comes out next week, right? But the issue with Mop Classic is that the new tier and stuff is like 2 weeks after that, and in that time anyway, I need to be like working on this guide video and stuff. As well as that, there'll still be PTR stuff I want to do. As well as that, I've actually got a fair bit IRL. It just came out at the Mop Classics just kind of come out at the wrong time. Whereas if I made a character, I would be able to commit to it for like a week, and then you would never see that character again. You know what I mean? If it came out like in a month or two, like 2 months, I'd be all over that shit. I just think it just hasn't lined up very well. But I'm sure there's a lot of players that are playing Mop Classic. I would have liked to have played it. If it had come out like literally last month, that would have been perfect, right? Tons of time to play it. Not too much going on in the main game. You know what I mean? Like, they've just released it at a really awkward time. I just don't think I can commit to it, because I just wouldn't be able to give it too much time. I've got a guide video to make. Joke's on me. How can I make a guide video for Windwalker when Blizzard don't even know what they're doing with Windwalker? No, guys, trust me, it's fine. We're all going to be okay. Yeah, I will catch you on Sunday at probably the usual time with a working mouse and a working brain. Have a lovely Friday evening, an amazing Saturday. Thank you for the super chat, the gifted, the follows, the hanging out, the chatting, the laughing, the memeing, the crying, the cat in the corner that's now my permanent. He's going to be there all the time. I'm going to give him a hat. I need to name him. I'll come up with a name at some point. Not now. I've come up with an awful name now. Anyway, yeah, thank you all for tuning in and hopefully catch you on Sunday. Bye-bye.